Thank you for listening to GCN. Great Talk Radio starts here.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
It's Thursday, the 26th day of September 2013. We've got some really good news. The entire fraud that is man-made global warming and the taxes they're promoting via the scare is in accelerated collapse. Now, the cult is still moving forward with the implementation of their takeover of society, but we are gaining the initiative. Lord Monckton will be joining us for 30 minutes. In the third hour, I'll do a full fourth hour today of radio transmission as well with a special guest that is going to be in studio with us that I'll tell you a little bit more about later as well here. Now, continuing, ladies and gentlemen, obviously the public is learning exactly what Obamacare means for them, and the Senate Republican leader, Mitch McConnell, came out and said, look, just let this get implemented. And it's so horrible, it will fail on its own accord. And that's a school of thought that says, let them do this and then get the blame for it. This is designed to wreck the economy and wreck healthcare in this country even further. And then Obama will be gone, and the globalists don't care. They'll have control of it. They want control of your medical care and your medical decisions. And that's why I don't think it's a good idea to let Obamacare become implemented, even though people say, well, this will ruin the Democrats forever. No, it won't. Their followers do not care. They feel like they're winners. We had a call from one of them yesterday, and I could tell he was a social worker because of the power trip he was on. Because I've been to court cases and followed it as an investigative journalist back when I was mainly doing local news. And I just learned how they act and how they never let you feel like you have any value in what you say is real, because they are delusional cult leaders. Not all of them. Some of them get into it for the right reasons and find out how bad it is and try to work in the system. But I said, you're a government worker, aren't you? After about 10 minutes talking to him. And he said, yeah, but it's none of your business. And I just said, you're a social worker. And he said, yeah, I am a social worker. And I do that all the time with people. I mean, on the street, I can tell if somebody's a cop, out of uniform, military. I can tell what branch of the military somebody's out of. I can look at a woman for about 5 minutes and how they talk and what they say and know almost everything about them. It's really scary. I'll be honest with you. I also know myself very well. And I can tell you right now, society is degenerating fast and going crazy. A lot of people are waking up, but that's how history happens. You'll have the best stuff happening with the worst stuff happening. People are going to get more conscious, more awake, more informed, rewiring their brains to be more intelligent. But the other group is rewiring their brain to be more dumbed down, more cynical, more evil, more corrupt, because they subconsciously know the whole world's going over the edge. But they can't admit to themselves consciously it's happening, so they're going crazy. They're going crazy right now. And I'm from the perspective of a globalist, but I'm not serving the globalist. I know how people work. And instead of seeing people's failings and then feeling elite over them, it's horrific. It's horrifying. Almost everyone are like children now. And I'm like in a world of like little mentally retarded children all around me. And I don't have some high view of myself. And then I see the globalists who are conscious and operating, and they are abusing the childlike minds. And then the children are petulant and demonic themselves. And it is just insane to see this type of stuff going on, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back on the other side of this break with all the news.
Cal-Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soap that is triple concentrated and made from the highest quality vegetable and coconut oils. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog and buy American-made products. Order the sampler, a 1 to 2 month supply, or get a 1 to 2 year supply of soaps for all your cleaning needs. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now. This is an amazing deal, and you will love the way real soap makes your skin feel. Call 1-800-340-7091 or visit www.5starsoap.com. Alex and his staff have used these earth-friendly, pure soaps for years. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
Every 3 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity theft. We also hear news stories every day about the NSA spying on U.S. citizens. It is now more important than ever to protect yourself and your information on the web. PrivateInternetAccess.com is a virtual private network service that can encrypt your internet connection while hiding your IP address. Their service also provides firewall protection in order to prevent data mining and unwanted exposure. They keep no records of your web browsing history. PrivateInternetAccess.com is an American company that understands you need to protect your inalienable rights. Private Internet Access does not even log any of your traffic, period. Privacy is their #1 policy. You can use their service anywhere with an internet connection, and with one account you can protect up to 5 devices at the same time. Go to PrivateInternetAccess.com right now in order to secure the privacy of you and your loved ones. Don't wait and allow you and your family to become victims. Visit PrivateInternetAccess.com today.
The world is discovering the power of medicinal silver to fight against life-threatening pathogens. And as a result, dozens of silver solutions have emerged. You can even make your own colloidal silver at home in your garage. How do you know which solution is the safest and most effective? Supernatural Silver is a new patented technology that is made using 10,000 volts of AC current. This technology is so powerful, it must be made in a laboratory. Colloidal and ionic silvers use a charge of only 110 volts of DC current, making supernatural silver hundreds of times more effective against viruses, bacteria, and fungus. Supernatural silver liquid can be used internally, and our silver gel can be used topically. To find out more information on how supernatural silver can help you win the war against deadly pathogens, go to supernaturalsilver.com. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code SAFE for 20% off and like us on Facebook.
Crashing through the lies and disinformation. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're here, ladies and gentlemen, then back weeknights, 7 o'clock, InfoWars Nightly News. Let me go ahead and roll through some of the headlines that are up on InfoWars.com right now. TSA to roll out covert surveillance vans to surveil the American people on the streets. Their plan has always been to be the national shakedown police force, tattletale force. So our journey towards total enslavement accelerates. That article is up on InfoWars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Later, I'm going to play this promotional video. I mentioned it a few days ago. Paul Watson did the story on it today. This is breaking. It's only on Intel's site where they're bragging about it, hiding in plain view. Secret 3G Intel chip gives snoops backdoor access to your PC, even when your PC is off, with remote access. That's a big deal. Peter Schiff was right. Part 2, breaking down that they would accelerate money printing. We're going to get into that. Got to get Peter Schiff back on. $5.25 million for Senate haircut, and 21 other ways politicians are living the high life at your expense and are exempt from every major law they foist on us. Ohio State gets armored fighting vehicles specifically designed for asymmetric warfare against the American people. That's right. It's the big armored vehicles Homeland Security bought 7,000 of, 2,000 this year. A special report. We are winning the fight against Monsanto and GMOs. Very powerful report by StoryLeak.com editor Anthony Gucciardi, who dropped by to give us that news report. Also, YouTube blocks video linking Obama's ties to Kenyan massacre. We break that down. Russia says sarin gas in August 21st Syria attack was homemade. The UN is now saying the same thing. They caught them with their pants completely down in a false flag operation. Coming up today, Lord Monckton will discuss the complete routing of the global warming fraudsters as more documents come out, even bigger than ClimateGate, proving that they are in an organized operation with the Obama administration and the Merkel administration from Deutschland trying to suppress the evidence the Earth has been radically cooling on average. Doesn't mean certain sub-areas haven't gotten hotter or colder, but radically colder the last decade, and cooling started again a decade ago, but warming stopped 15 years ago and is part of a normal cycle. Are there real environmental crises? You bet your boots there are, and they ignore all of those. So we're going to be talking to Lord Monckton for about 30 minutes. In the third hour, we'll do a whole hour of Overdrive today with a special guest we'll be announcing here on air a little bit later with some key information on Fukushima and more. Russia and China are holding large-scale war games, NATO to counter with the Eastern European war games in November as things heat up on that front. I want to open the phones up in this hour specifically for Obamacare supporters. We had one call in yesterday, giggling and laughing and doing talking points from Tennessee, and I ascertained he was a government worker instantly and then made one guess. I said, "You're a social worker, aren't you?" And, of course, he started stuttering and said, yeah, I am. I help people. And I said, no, what you do is the system destroys the jobs, destroys the family, destroys the culture, and then sends you people out to basically take control of society. Social workers were set up in England about 150 years ago, here in the U.S. around 100 years ago, on record by the Rockefeller Foundation to go out and carry out race hygiene eugenics. And I said, what about the forced sterilization? What about giving black people syphilis? And he just laughed at me. And his accent, he sounded a little bit like he was black to me. And it just was funny. Because it doesn't matter. The government's his buddy. The government's in charge. No, the government is inherently run by evil people on the top, on record, who want to deindustrialize the public and domesticate us under Cloward and Piven, the adopted official policy of the Democratic Party to bankrupt the country, to make us dependent. To make us dependent on them. And he said, I want socialism. I do want socialism with health care. That's right. They're going to help people. And see, they're on a power trip because they're the ones that distribute it. They call the shots. That's where in the social order, they're the upper class. They're the government. And then they laugh at everyone else. Doesn't matter if you have 160 IQ. Doesn't matter if you can speak 5 languages. Doesn't matter if you've been successful from your own research, inventing things and running businesses and hiring hundreds of people. They laugh at you. And they know they've got the power structure on their side, and they know their time is here. The bureaucracies, the tattletale squads, the I'm God, as the TSA says, beating their breast on TV saying, I have power, I have power. We ought to make an intro with TSA agents going crazy saying, I'm God, TSA agents banging their chest saying, I have power, I have power. When we have all those videos, and then cut to state police bending women over cars doing proctology exams, you know, just to show you how hardcore it all is. Because this has happened every other time in history. It's happening again. And I want to hear from Obama supporters who are getting the welfare, who get the Obama phones, who get the peachy jobs, and then they recruit them out of the welfare system to become the bureaucrats. They recruit foster kids to end up being the CPS. And then they come to your house, your business, your life, and they look you in the eye, and they let you know, you work for me now. Is that clear? And most Americans get on their knees before them and only encourage it. So, I mean, it ought to freak that guy out that time and time again when these callers call in, I can guess what they do, who they are, and even what division of something they're in. Because I know them. I know them. I mean, it's like I can be in a restaurant. I don't even follow NFL football, and I can tell by the arrogance, the way they're acting, the steroid use, the camel's hump they'll have on their back from steroid use, all of it. I mean, it's easy. I look at them and I'll go, that guy's probably a lineman, but he looks a little depressed now and brain damaged. He's probably been out of the NFL for about 5 years. He's probably 39 years old, and I'll walk over and go, were you in the NFL? And he goes, what, are you a fan? No, were you in the NFL? Yeah. You were a lineman? Yeah. And, And of course, that's easy. You can do that too. But, I mean, I just know all the little types. I know when someone's a software engineer that's got 100 employees under them because the arrogance and the power trip they're on and the fact that they have intelligence twinkling in their eye, but only an intelligence to work within the system and to feel like they're part of the power structure. I mean, I can be there at the 4th of July on Lake Austin in a kayak, a group of kayaks with my family, and I could sit there behind the police line on the river where they block everybody, watching all the people. And I can tell that's a firefighter and his wife. She works for the city. That guy's a cop. Because the way he's looking at everybody sardonically like they're scum. And I'll say, hey, you're a cop. He goes, what, do I know you? I go, no, you're a cop. What are you, state police? And the guy starts freaking out. How do you know that? I'm walking to like SWAT team guys in Target and stuff. And I go, you're a SWAT team, aren't you? The guy's like, how do you know that? Because I know, that's why. I know you. I see you. Because I'm alive. And it's just really creepy to look at the politicians, how blackmailed and enslaved people like Kerry are. And you see Obama on a power trip, arrogantly, narcissistically, just loving the red carpets and power. You just see him as a pure, demon, low level, just getting off on the power. You see his wife, who's crazy and hateful and dominant, and there with the Jezebel spirit. And you see people like Harry Reid, who's really creepy and wicked. And I won't say what I see in him, but you see it, don't you? I mean, you have discernment, folks. You know when somebody looks like a pervert walking down the street. You pick it up. Women have discernment. Women, women's intuition. It's not women's intuition. If women weren't focused on the world feeling petty with Madison Avenue telling them they have no power, they would be awake and realize protecting their family and their culture and their heritage is what everything's about, not about running around trying to be a movie star because MTV does boom music in the background and tells you haven't made it unless you're, rolling like Paris Hilton, who, by the way, lives in a gilded cage and is totally unhappy and freaked out. Believe me, I know. Doesn't matter how many pink Bentleys she's got in front of her house, she's unhappy. The reason I know is Charlie Sheen lives 2 doors down from her. Anyways, the point is, my friends, is that this is a culture of death, going insane, going over the edge, and I want to hear from Obamacare supporters, because you're so arrogant. It doesn't matter how much knowledge I lay on you, how many facts, how it was written by offshore banks to cheat you. You will get the free eugenics care because you're fully on welfare. It just will be now you won't get the surgeries and things you would have gotten before through charity care, but you won't care because you feel like you're a winner. Everybody else, working poor, middle class, you name it, they're all nailed to the wall, going to be absolutely hammered, double, triple premiums, depending on your male or female, it's on. But the 30-something% on welfare in this country and growing, that you will get free death care. You will get all of it. So you're a winner, but only because you're being domesticated for the full slaughter. I want to hear from you. I'll give the number out slowly for you. 800-259-9231. 800-259-9231. Tell us about the reflected glory you feel out of government. Tell us how you feel like you're part of a crew, a family, the federal family. You're a winner. Tell me, laugh at me. I know you want to call in and laugh at me. 800-259-9231.
It's the Mountain House Super Sale, right now at BePrepared.com. This month only, every can is 40% off. Try the delectable flavor of scrambled eggs with bacon, only $20.39, regularly $33.99. Or taste Mountain House Beef Stroganoff, normally $28.49, now only $17.09. In the mood for dessert, try a number 10 can of Raspberry Crumble for only $16.49, usually priced at $27.49. Call Emergency Essentials at 800-999-1863 or click BePrepared.com. The choice is clear. Be unprepared or BePrepared.com.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
I'm sick of how the big drug companies are keeping men from fixing their ED without pills. Matt Cook here from GetEDSolutions.com, and I've helped thousands of men fully recover from ED without pills, pumps, or supplements. But the big drug companies collect $5 billion in revenue from sales of ED medications. They don't want my message to get out.
Things are so much better now. Everything kind of came back overnight. My girlfriend, very happy.
I purchased your product yesterday, and it was fantastic.
I have used your system for about 3 weeks, and I'm already seeing great results.
If you're one of the 52% of men who suffer ED, you must go to my website at GetEDSolutions.com and watch an instant web class that shows you how to get rid of your ED forever from the privacy of your own home. That's GetEDSolutions.com for an eye-opening web class you can watch instantly. You'll never be the same, and your wife or girlfriend will thank you because you were smart enough not to just believe the big drug companies, but to find out the truth about ED at GetEDSolutions.com. That's GetEDSolutions.com. GetEDSolutions.com.
Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gate, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filter today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139.
A healthy digestive system supports a healthy immune system. And a healthy immune system protects you against infections and disease. Pro EM1 Daily Probiotic Cleanse, available at Teraganix.com, is the key to digestive health. Pro EM1 is a powerful liquid probiotic and is gentle enough to use every day. Pro EM1 contains 3 groups of beneficial microbes and enzymes to cleanse and remove toxins, supports weight loss, improves absorption of food nutrients, and aids in controlling yeast and other infections. Pro EM1 is dairy, wheat, and soy-free, is non-GMO, has all natural certified organic ingredients, has no preservatives, and is never freeze-dried. Pro EM1 is the key to your digestive health. Order Pro EM1 Daily Probiotic Cleanse at Teraganix.com, spelled Teraganix.com. Teraganix.com, or call toll-free 866-369-3678. That's 866-369-3678. Pro EM1, the raw probiotic.
Tell you what I'm going to do. Before I get into the TSA now being inserted in the malls all over the country with paramilitary police, as we told you they would do after the Kenya situation, they're now saying prepare for this al-Qaeda group to attack America, and that no one will point out that our government's funding al-Qaeda and obviously behind it, and the rollout of the armored vehicles and TSA will only expand. And cops walking around on delusional power trips, they've reached their status. They're in the upper class, they believe as well, in their little black uniforms, protecting us from the al-Qaeda groups the government publicly runs. Before I get to that and to the latest on Obamacare, without further ado, let's give out the number again for Obama supporters who support Obamacare and who think it's loving government that really wants to help poor people. Now, again, you have the low-level useful idiots that actually believe redistribution is to help people. And it's been done over decades to give the power over society to the globalists. Now they've got almost total control, and they're moving into the open eugenics phase. And you have to understand the people that buy into this, they believe they're special because they're guys in office. Republicans do this as well when their people are in, regardless of what the rhino stands for. You notice the Republican leadership and the Democrats have been going after Ron Paul, Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, and others because they understand they're the example of true Americana that could reverse this criminal takeover. And it's all the big special interests, all the big mega billionaires and Goldman Sachs and Berkshire Hathaway heads that promote the carbon taxes, the taxes on the poor, the Obamacare, because it's all about a managed command and control system. But all those are just words to the Obama supporter. They call in and they laugh with pleasure. David calls from Germany, says he's a supporter of Obamacare. So tell me why I'm wrong. Go ahead.
I can't hear.
Okay, well, we're sending you audio, David. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Hi, Alex. I'm a big fan. Just wanted to say, first off, I love your show. I especially really love your coverage of Syria. In terms of Obamacare, I'm not really a huge Obama supporter, but my problem is, and the reason I support Obamacare is because we've got millions of Americans. Of course, we all know the numbers, some 50 million Americans who don't have insurance. And a lot of these people, like hundreds of thousands upon hundreds of thousands, are going bankrupt just because of medical bills, yeah. And what I want is I want people, no matter what their income is, they're impoverished, whether they're welfare, I don't care. I want them to be able to go to the doctor, visit a doctor, be able to get even just common medicines prescribed for their children if they're sick.
Wow, this is incredible. An actual thought-out thing, not somebody on an arrogant power trip giggling because they think Obama's their buddy. Let me break something down for you. If you read the 10,000 pages of amendments, and if you worked in healthcare over here or studied it, you would understand that they're putting out that lie that 35 to 40 million or whatever it is don't have insurance, that they don't get medical care. That's not true. There is not a hospital in the country that does not render care to people, and there are drug programs to give people prescription drugs. They will not tell you that. If you're not an illegal alien or on welfare, you're not told this. The illegal aliens know it. They go to the front of the line. I've been at the hospital with insurance and watched the illegals going in front of me because they don't even enroll them. They know. It's called charity care. And hospitals, under the regulations for hundreds of years, are supposed to give a third of their care as charity care. And then other financial charities, businesses are supposed to give money to pay for the prosthesis or for equipment and things like that. You know, my dad, when he went to dental school, they were told you're supposed to give about a third of your health care discounted or free. Now, what Obamacare does is it gets rid of that. It's written by the insurance companies, why their stock went up in some cases more than 50%, but overall more than 15% when Obamacare got passed because they wrote it. And it allows them to give a lesser standard of care while increasing the premiums and the cost of overall insurance. And so the argument that, hey, our hospitals are going bankrupt because so many people come in that don't have insurance, make people get insurance, yes, it will make many blue-collar people go out and get it, but it's going to end up bankrupting them. It's also designed to create a permanent peasant class and drive down wages because everyone's got to work less than 40 hours a week. So I appreciate your call. We heard your points. Maybe Mitch McConnell's right. Maybe let's let this thing get implemented. The problem is it's meant to bankrupt the old system, then they'll go pure socialist as the answer to the crisis they've already created. I'm Alex Jones, your host. The website's Infowars.com. Straight ahead, more Obamacare supporters.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Are we choosing our own destiny, or has it been pre-selected for us?
As we've moved through history, every great leader has had to understand the potential of information.
Billions of dollars have been spent, privately and publicly, looking at how to tap into your psyche.
From compulsory state education to the Hollywood media brainwashing machine, we are kept in perpetual bondage to the ideas that shape our actions.
When somebody obscures that feedback loop between you observing and testing it out and verifying it, they can take total control of your awareness.
All of this is happening so fast, you need to be ahead of the game.
How to engineer the opinion of the American people so that they would not only endorse but demand a war.
Oh, there's another one. Another plane just hit.
State of Mind, because there's a war on for your mind. Get your copy of State of Mind, the movie, at Infowars.com. And remember, every order at InfoWarsStore.com receives a free citizen rulebook. Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gate, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filters today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139.
Cal-Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soap that is triple concentrated and made from the highest quality vegetable and coconut oils. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog and buy American-made products. Order the sampler, a 1 to 2 month supply, or get a 1 to 2 year supply of soaps for all your cleaning needs. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now. This is an amazing deal, and you will love the way real soap makes your skin feel. Call 1-800-340-7091 or visit www.5starsoap.com. Alex and his staff have used these earth-friendly, pure soaps for years. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
We now take you live to the Central Texas Command Center and the heart of the resistance. You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
I've opened the phones up for Obamacare supporters, and I want to hear from them why Obamacare is not a good idea or is a good idea. I specifically want to hear why I'm wrong. Now, I know I'm right. I know it was written by the big globalists to get control of health care. It was meant as a corporate tax through government directly to the big mega banks that have gotten tens of trillions in banker bailouts, you name it. I know the Republican Party leadership 15 years ago with the insurance companies in consultation with the head of the Senate, Tom Daschle, at the time, wrote this thing. I mean, that's the history of it. And it penalizes blue-collar workers. It gets rid of charity care. And it basically forces the general public to go out and get the insurance. And when you do that, it makes the commodity go up in price when it's a rigged system. And that's why, even before implementation, Bloomberg itself reports a 59% national increase in premiums in the last 2 years. They're set to go up on average over 150% for men and 80+% for women, national average. That's projected by the National Insurance Council. And it's the New World Order model where you pay a carbon tax and it goes to oil companies that set up the carbon exchange. It goes to Al Gore. It goes to his trading company in London, Gore and Blood. I'm not joking. His partner's named Blood. I'm not joking. It's Gore and Blood. Not Blood and Gore. They put it Gore and Blood. There's the Chicago Mercantile that a small holder of it compared to Warren Buffett is Obama. Just like Warren Buffett is the biggest recipient on record, Warren Buffett is the biggest recipient on record of the banker bailout. And they're going to continue to be the biggest recipients. That's why they're billionaires. It's why they're in control. It's why they're tax exempt. It's why they're offshore. It's why they're exempt from Obamacare, because they're gangsters and they run the show and they know how to lie to chumps. And you hear a well-meaning guy from Germany who likes the show because we're anti-war with Syria and knows a lot of what we're saying is true. And he calls in and says, but I think poor people should be able to go in and get health care. We've had Dr. Blaylock on. We've had my dad on. We've had countless other physicians on who will explain to you what I grew up watching. Poor people coming in and getting free health care, and then dentist offices, clinics, hospitals would reach out and get local community sponsorship from churches and corporations and individuals to have a fund for the poor to pay for an artificial leg or to pay for a heart stent or to pay. And I try to explain this to Obama supporters, and they just don't get it. I have a good friend who had Crohn's disease and worked for a local TV station, making pretty good living a year for somebody working at a TV station, like 60 grand a year. But they couldn't get health insurance. This is like 10 years ago. And I went to them because they couldn't do video editing for me, and they're part-time at their separate business. They had a business office other than their other operation. And the person, when I got there, was crawling around on the floor and losing weight, looked like they were going to die soon, and had been to all the specialists in Texas and who had been kicked off their insurance for the company they worked with, and who couldn't get insurance and couldn't pay for the drugs. And I said, listen, there's a drug program to give you that Remicade that just shuts down your immune system. That's not what you really need. You need to get off GMO, not drink as much coffee. I went and looked up Crohn's. I knew it was vaccine-induced from measles shot. He goes, yeah, I got measles shot when I was a kid. And actually, that's when I started getting sick about a year after. My mom thought that. And he didn't believe me. I said, listen, you got to go to the hospital and say, I've been refused insurance, and here's what I make, and sign a deal with them to agree on a payment plan for a percentage, but to be given charity care rates. Ended up all being paid for. Ended up going to New York, getting the top specialist in the country to remove part of his intestines, and he's 98% better and doesn't have as many problems. Very rare now, a decade later. And he actually got in an argument with me, and he said, you're a liar. He said, I'm dying, and you're in here telling me there's charity care, and they'll do this surgery, and I can get the drugs and all of it for free when I've been cut from full-time to part-time at the TV station so that I'm a contractor, and I've lost my insurance, and my COBRA ran out, and you're telling me it's free. I've been to the hospital there, and I go, that's because they know you're a working person. I said, you can quit everything, go on welfare. They'll admit there's charity care. They're lying to you. They've been told to lie to you because Americans are seen as the con artist mark. He finally went, I gave him the paperwork. He discovered it all, had the surgery for free, top surgeon in the country, who admitted, of course, I do 1/3 of my care for free. That's what a physician's supposed to do. Now the physicians aren't going to have to do that anymore. There's not going to be in all these tax-exempt hospitals that really make profits. their profits are going to go up. That's why their stock's up. And you people do not want to understand this. You do not want to know this. You love wallowing in ignorance. At least the guy earlier. At least the fella earlier called in and bought their lie and thought it was to help people that were uninsured. It's not true. My finger was dangling by a piece of skin, severed, with the bone sticking out. And I walked into the downtown city hospital and said, here's my Blue Cross Blue Shield of Minnesota, insurance through the Genesis Network. I said, here it is. It covers 90%, and here's my credit cards. And they said, go sit over there. And an hour and a half later, my dad gets there. He goes, you're going to lose that finger. I have to walk up calmly, cut in front of all the illegal aliens, literally, who are just going straight in, because they know they don't have insurance. They know. They go, charity care in Spanish. Boom, baby, in. I had insurance. I was a scum American. It had to be run, looked at, double-checked. They were going to decide how to rip me off. If you're on charity care, rattlesnake anti-venom is about $100. On record. If you are wealthy and known to have gold-plated insurance, you're going to be charged $100,000+ per injection. On record. It's happened to a good friend of mine's mother. The total bill was almost $300,000. Healthcare is criminally run by offshore megabank mafias that sit there and run an actuary, and the insurance department's got to look at it while you're bleeding. And I finally walked up and I said, and I wasn't even that well known 12 years ago or so when I cut my finger off, but they knew who I was. And I said, I'm going to sue you. I said, I know the surgeons here. I said, all these people with stomach aches and the rest of it that are here to just get their pain pills or whatever. I said, I know what's going on. It's a bunch of pill heads right here. I said, I'm going to sue you when I came in here and you didn't attach my finger and I lost it. This is with my hand wrapped up with blood dripping. I said, you see that? I said, you get the surgeon prepped and you get it reattached right now, or I'm going to sue you personally. They had me in there in 10 minutes. Then she comes in and she goes, yeah, I'm a listener of yours. And they actually called me in because they thought I'd be better at this. And, the other surgeons are taking care of these people. And she said, I'm going to give you a tetanus shot. And I said, no, you're not. I said, this thing is bled all over the place. I go, tetanus shots are known, one of their main bioweapons. They add the hormones, the chemicals, to create an autoimmune response to that. She said, yeah, I've seen that literature. She said, I want you to sign a waiver. And I said, I don't need to sign a waiver. I'm on record in front of everybody right here. So she spent 20 minutes scrubbing it all out, putting iodine on it, getting into it, doing everything. And she reattached my finger. And it was really cool for a few years. I had no feeling. It's actually come back, almost the entire finger. What an amazing body God gave us. Grown back over the 12 years to where it's not even numb anymore. Realized the last few years it came back. And that's what I had to do in America to get in there and get the health care. Okay? Now I'm going to come back from break, and I'm going to go to your phone calls for about 20 minutes of the next hour. They have a special guest in studio. Well, one of you fellas do me a favor. Those 2 bottles right there on the back, will you come and give me those right there? There's just the 2 on the back right there. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that, bro. Thank you so much. I shot a video last night we're going to premiere here on the radio, and I'm going to talk about it some afterwards here in just a moment. Dealing with the magic of iodine, particularly a certain type of iodine, because as they take over with the eugenics healthcare and block access to traditional MD medicine, it's going to be more important that all of us get in shape, get psychologically in shape, get spiritually in shape, and also learn about the things that they don't want us to understand, like nascent iodine. So here's a breakdown on the radiation levels. It's actually more than double in the Northern Hemisphere right now, what it was 60 years ago. But here's a special report on that. Fukushima blows sky high. Chernobyl. Alex Jones here to warn you about some of the most important health information you may ever hear. I'm talking about radiation, radioactive fallout, radioactive particles contaminating the Northern Hemisphere. Conservatively, since the 1940s, the northern hemisphere of our planet has more than doubled its background radiation. In fact, that was before Fukushima exploded. Now the levels are going up and up and up. Fish are contaminated in the Pacific, and the FDA, the EPA, and others, they're not worried about it. They've been raising the levels of what they claim is safe radioactive particles. Well, I began to discuss with my wife protecting myself, her, and of course our children. Most importantly, I have 3 small children, ages 10, 9, and 5. Radiation really affects children more than adults because they have fast-growing cells. All the literature is clear on that. And I went and talked to medical doctors, scientists, nuclear physicists, nutritionists, and I said, what's the #1 thing I can do to protect my family? And they said, Alex, it's leave the northern hemisphere. Go south of the equator. That's where the radiation levels are very, very low. If you look at the wind patterns, the north hardly interacts with the south. And it's unfortunate that we've done this to our planet. So after more than 2 years of research into how to protect my family, looking at all the literature, talking to the experts, across the board they agreed iodine is key. But of the family of iodine, nascent, natural, non-GMO, non-factory iodine that comes from the earth is absolutely paramount for your thyroid and other functions in the body. The literature, the research, it's there. It's not my opinion. It is admitted that iodine is essential for the health of our bodies overall, and nascent iodine is the best form. Now, we're announcing the launch of InfoWarsLife.com, and we're going to bring you scores of products over the next few years that we're researching and developing. But nascent iodine is the first product we're coming out with because it's so important, and it's also listed as a fluoride detoxer. It does so many other things. Your body needs it, and when you don't have enough iodine, forget the radiation, your thyroid absorbs the sodium fluoride and other things. And it's the good iodine, the nascent iodine, that is able to block that and just do so many things for your body and your health. I've been taking it. It's amazing. It's a lot better than coffee, I'm here to tell you. And that's why we are now offering our own nascent iodine that's double the strength, made in the best laboratory that is FDA certified and accredited. And it is double strength at half the price of the leading competitor. You know my rule. Bring you the highest quality products at the lowest prices we can, so it's a win-win-win. I believe in you reap what you sow. So not only will you get the best deal on nascent iodine at InfoWarsLife.com for your general health and also for any type of emergencies or disasters, you will also be getting a great deal and supporting the InfoWar and our news operation, promoting the cure for tyranny, the First Amendment, promoting liberty and a rediscovery of the Bill of Rights and Constitution and true Americana that's made this nation so great. So please join me in being among the first to visit InfoWarsLife.com. We've got discounts if you buy the nascent iodine in bulk. I challenge you to try to find a better deal. We have the best deal out there and the best quality. In closing, here is probably the most important point. You don't just take nascent iodine when disaster strikes, when there's some new giant disaster. The Northern Hemisphere is already double what it was 60 years ago with the radioactive background. I believe from the research I've done and the experts I've talked to, it is key to take nascent iodine to protect your thyroid from the radiological disaster that's already happened. And unfortunately, future disasters that will happen. That's why it's important to fill your thyroid up now with the healthy nascent iodine so that the sodium fluoride, the radioactive isotopes, and the rest of it can't get in. That's the key. This is something that across the board has been shown in study after study to be an absolutely essential nutrient in the body. Until a few decades ago, the government put it in the salt because they knew you needed it. But then they took that out, that's good for the thyroid, and put the sodium fluoride in that's bad for it. Talk about eugenics, talk about soft kill, talk about an invisible weapon in the water supply. This stuff is on record as a detoxifier for the fluoride they're adding to our water. Nascent iodine and InfoWars Life Survival Shield in double strength at half the cost of the leading competitors. Please visit InfoWarsLife.com today. And, folks, we're going to go to break here and come back with your phone calls 20 minutes in the next hour. And then we're going to be joined by a special guest in studio. Also, folks, you can go to InfoWarsLife.com. We also have it mirrored on the regular InfoWarsStore.com and get the first product put out by InfoWars Life, Survival Shield, nascent iodine dietary supplement. And it's on record what this stuff does. Big Pharma goes and gets regulations passed and stuff where, you know, they can't even say vitamin C's been shown to not, cause any harm, and it's been shown to help you not get scurvy. You're not even supposed to say that. I mean, it's just amazing how manipulative these people are because they want you sick. They don't want you to know about things like nascent iodine, the best type out there. Available at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. And your purchase makes this broadcast possible as well. So it's a win-win-win. Get a great product at a great price and support a great transmission for liberty worldwide. InfoWarsLife.com making the announcement here today. All right, Obama supporters, straight ahead. Jeremiah, Chester, Brian, Steve, stay with us.
Big business has discovered the preparedness market, and that makes it difficult to know where to go and who to trust. MyPatriotSupply.com is owned and operated by patriots just like you. Has the best prices on storable food, non-GMO seeds, water filtration devices, home canning equipment, survival and self-reliance books, and more. MyPatriotSupply.com has old-fashioned values and the absolute best customer service in the industry. Look for the deal of the day, unique, affordable survival supplies that fit anyone's budget. Get same-day shipping on all orders and free shipping on orders over $49. Call 866-229-0927, 866-229-0927, or visit MyPatriotSupply.com for emergency preparedness, self-reliance, and food independence. Shop with a name you know and a name you can trust. Before it's time to survive, it's time to prepare. MyPatriotSupply.com.
You know about RVs, you've heard about bunkers, but surviving is not recreation, and man wasn't made to live underground. Introducing Survivalist Camps, the ultimate fully functional off-the-grid survival bug-out house that's mobile, well-equipped, and custom-built to outlast any other RV or trailer. Go to survivalistcamps.com to learn more. That's survivalistcamps.com, providing your basic needs to survive. Survivalistcamps.com.
Available only at hempusa.org. It's the first aid stick, and it's a must-have in any medical kit. With fast, chemical-free healing, the first aid stick stops bleeding, kills bacteria, is great for acne, insect bites, minor cuts and abrasions, will last for years, and is just $11.95. Everyone needs the first aid stick in their emergency kit. Call 888-910-4367. 888-910-4367. The first aid stick, only at hempusa.org.
Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gate, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filter today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139.
Ira Hayes, Ira Hayes, call him drunken Ira Hayes.
All right, let's go to your phone calls into the next hour from Obama supporters who think Obamacare is a great deal. I start doing my own filibuster when I start thinking about it, how bad it is, how evil it is, how it cons people. How everything else Obama and the globalists have done has been about domesticating you, bankrupting you, enslaving you. And then how these people gullibly really think they're going to get something free. Meanwhile, the whole country's going bankrupt. Europe's going bankrupt into the hands of the globalists that engineered this. Let's go to Jeremiah in Oklahoma. Jeremiah, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex.
Hey.
I work in healthcare, and I'm at the point now where I just want Obamacare to get through, because once it's fully implemented and this country really does start to go bankrupt, maybe that'll wake everyone up.
Okay, so you're not an Obamacare supporter. You see, but look, they know it's going to bankrupt things. It's designed to. Their answer will be pure socialism. Don't you understand that? Their supporters, every time they get conned, they double down. It's like when you lose at the casino, the loser, degenerate gambler goes and mortgages their house. Do you understand that?
Everyone I work with is all for it. They're all for it. And it just needs to come, because that will wake everyone up. We just need to face the truth on this healthcare front, on every front, Alex. I mean, even you yesterday with Ted Cruz in Congress, can you honestly tell your listeners that Congress still has power in this captured country that we live in? We need to face the pain. And I think Obamacare is coming no matter what. And everyone I work with, they're all for it. So you know what? Let it come. Maybe that'll wake this country up.
Well, they're obviously idiots then, because Obamacare has been, the first part of it's been in place for a year, increasing payroll tax on everybody.
It'll fully be implemented January 1st, 2015. I think January 1st, 2014, that's when it'll start. But it won't be fully implemented until 2015.
Yeah, well, that's the biggest telltale thing. And I appreciate your call, sir, but you're not really an Obama supporter. I want serious Obama supporters here, folks, please. That's why they keep pushing off implementation. Because this current crop does not want to be in when it goes in, because they know it was written by foreign banks that paid for them. The puppets don't even want this in yet. It's kind of like they're going to throw us off the plank, but they don't want to be the ones that do it. Oh, man, I tell you, I really feel sorry for these people. Steve in Illinois, you say you're an Obama supporter. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know about the Obama supporter, but I'm a supporter of universal health care. A long-time listener, Alex. I think you know who I am.
Yeah, you're McGruff the crime dog, listening on 1530 AM, WCKG.
Yes, how did you know? It's better than being McCain and listening out to Radio J in Hanoi. But the story being, I was in the welfare office last week because I'm 59 years old, 11 months, and in 2 weeks I'll be 60. And the majority of people getting the welfare, this is in a black area, Melrose Park, are Mexicans. They're the ones getting it. You would think I would be fighting elbow to elbow with blacks, but it wasn't true. It's the illegals coming in. They were Mexicans. They were not blonde-haired.
Well, you know why the government selectively gives the illegals the most welfare. That's on record. They've had AP articles where the banks say we give folks loans for houses with no proof because we want to have an incentive to come here. The corporations want cheap labor. So these are covert, secret war incentives to drive down the wages.
It's exactly true. And I think that maybe this would help with the drug gouging that's going on. You get the prices, the same drugs in Canada, they're one half the price they are in America. So if it cuts the prices, and I go and I pay for the $4 prescriptions at Walmart, I buy my.
But see, it's all selectively enforced. You're not.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
Protecting your home with a security system is a must. But when it comes to protecting your family, your home, and belongings, there's no need to sign a long-term contract. Listen, there is some real scum in the alarm business, cashing in by locking you into long, punishing contracts. Not with Simply Safe Home Security. They're the good guys. You can trust Simply Safe to protect your family. Simply Safe was created by a Harvard Business School engineer, and it's revolutionary. You'll get 24-hour protection for just $14.99 a month. There are no hidden fees and no contracts. You'll save thousands. Plus, you're protected by their 100% money-back guarantee. Protect yourself against home invasions and break-ins. Order your Simply Safe system now and receive a wireless keychain remote, a $25 gift, free. So don't waste your time dealing with scum. Visit GetSimplySafe.com. GetSimplySafe.com. GetSimplySafe.com.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
All right, so we've actually gotten some pretty sensible calls in support of Obamacare. And by sensible, it's not like the government bureaucrat, social worker that called in laughing at me yesterday on a power trip. These are poor people saying, look, the illegals are already getting it. Everybody else is already getting it. I want some. And another guy calls in and says, I want poor people to be able to go into a hospital and get health care. They already can, just nobody tells them that. It's called charity care. Now they're getting rid of that. This is about multinational combine of banks owning insurance companies taking control of the healthcare system in this country to decide what treatments you can get even more. And to make 35 to 40 million people buy insurance, which drives up the overall price. But yeah, if you're on straight up welfare, short term, this is going to be a good deal for you. They've already gotten rid of your job, shut down the country. What else do you have? The problem is it brings in the death panels and the control. Just like the VA, they don't give you surgery if you need it. They give you pills. So, but the folks won't know the difference. So, you know, it's kind of going into the long, dark night, the eugenics thing. A lot of you are just going to be happy when they finally release the main bioweapon and they kill you. And I understand it's sad. And the globalists kind of create a self-fulfilling prophecy where they dumb everybody down and break up the family and create indoctrination systems instead of educational systems. And we're under scientific attack, and the globalists argue, hey, we're in control because we're smart. And the public are dumb animals who need to be killed. And the public says, yes, kill me. So there you go. It's kind of how it works. Let's go ahead and talk to Brian in New York. You're an Obama supporter. Go ahead.
Hello, Alex. I support Obamacare because it's going to give everybody free health care.
Okay, tell me how.
Well, I mean, if the Republicans just move and let Obama do his job, I mean, we're going to get free health care. So,
How much free stuff are you getting already, Brian?
Tons of free stuff. I mean, it's just free everything. Free condoms, just everything is just free for me. If it's not free, I'll make it free.
Do you think the globalists are doing this because they love you?
I think Obama is doing it because he loves us as a collective. He even loves you. He's our father. He's our viewer.
You're being sarcastic, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man, we're in trouble. They've got it all figured out. Shut the economy down, and pretty much a lot of people have to go on welfare. I know a lot of veterans and people that are, 55 years old, can't get a job to pay their bills, have a back problem, and they go on welfare, but then the government has full control of their life and makes them take vaccines to get it. Where do you see all this going?
Well, it doesn't really matter. How many years do you think we have until this economic collapse comes and people finally wake up as a collective?
Oh, I think the economic collapse has already happened to a certain extent, but I think it's going to get real bad the next 2 years. But the problem is government will be there the whole time acting like it's trying to fix it when it's 100% captured federal government. That's about 98% captured. I mean, we could legitimately, through constitutional ideas, try to restore the republic, but they've been so smart about ruining the culture that it's, I tell you, we're in a lot of trouble. That's all I can say.
Yeah, but here's the thing I don't understand. Like, when it comes to the government and the history, I really can't understand this. I mean, I'm not a bright guy, You know what I mean? I'm not the smartest guy in the world.
Oh, I'm sure you are. Go ahead. What's your point?
I understand history. I understand what history is. And if we see government doing the same things over and over again to kill people, how can people just openly support this guy in the White House? I mean, we outnumber them. We have numbers on them. They just have to.
Well, that's because people forget what happened to the last generation. I mean, an animal going up to get some food doesn't know there's a trap there. Why does the United States spend the largest percentage of GDP in the world on healthcare? Why do we have the highest cancer rates on the planet, the highest rates of diabetes, autism, and every other major disease? It all comes down to one thing. We are what we eat. Our food is devoid of nutrition and processed with poisons and additives. Our water is filled with toxic poisons and big pharma runoff. All of this has been engineered by design. We can turn the tide against the eugenicist by giving ourselves the nutrients our body desperately needs. To learn more, visit InfoWarsHealth.com. The site is literally packed with audio and video featuring top health professionals who don't bow down to big pharma. The fight against the New World Order starts with you, and you can't stand against the machine if you're sick, tired, and obese. When you visit InfoWarsHealth.com, be sure and check out the catalog with nearly 400 life-changing products and get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip.
With over 3,000 years of historic use, pure silver continues to be one of nature's most reliable and effective agents against fighting viruses, mold, fungus, bacteria, pathogens, and parasites. At Silver Lungs, we have developed a reliable and easy-to-use full production system for creating endless pure nano-silver solutions right from the convenience and comfort of your home. Your self-produced nano-silver solutions can be applied topically to the skin. For many who are new to silver that wish to try silver for the first time, we offer a full line of consumables and cosmetics, such as our 2-ounce nano-silver nasal sprays, our nano-silver soap, and our most popular product, the all-natural nano-silver gel. Visit www.silverlungs.com to learn more about the industry-leading technology of the Silver Lungs system. That's www.silverlungs.com.
Are we choosing our own destiny, or has it been pre-selected for us?
As we've moved through history, every great leader has had to understand the potential of information.
Billions of dollars have been spent privately and publicly looking at how to tap into your psyche.
From compulsory state education to the Hollywood media brainwashing machine, we are kept in perpetual bondage to the ideas that shape our actions.
When somebody obscures that feedback loop between you observing and testing it out and verifying it, they can take total control of your awareness.
All of this is happening so fast, you need to be ahead of the game.
How to engineer the opinion of the American people so that they would not only endorse but demand a war.
Oh, there's another one. Another plane just hit.
State of Mind, because there's a war on for your mind. Get your copy of State of Mind, the movie, at Infowars.com. And remember, every order at InfoWarsStore.com receives a free citizen rulebook.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Coming up, folks, secret 3G Intel chip gives snoops backdoor access to your PC. vPro processors allow remote access even when computer is turned off via 3G, 4G, 5G, all of it. This is what MIT talked about 15 years ago, how everything's going to have chips hardwired in. And it says it's going to control your house with these chips. And by the way, all the other major chips are moving to this. And they say on the promo video we're going to play later in the hour, it's up on Infowars.com, they actually say we're going to control your house. We're going to control your electricity and make sure you're not being bad. We're going to turn your AC off. We're going to turn your computer off. We're going to decide how hot or cold your house is. We know best. It's for the earth. Just like Obama told folks in Africa a month ago, He said, you're not going to get a car or air conditioning. That's bad for the earth. By the way, let me walk on this big jumbo jet with 10 other jets that flew in with me. Again, genetic engineering is not a problem. Overfishing is not a problem. Toxic waste dumping. No, it's all you're breathing and you having a life. That's the problem, just because they can tax you in the carbon cycle. They could care less about the environment, care less about the earth. So that's coming up. And we're going to have a special guest in studio with us a little bit in the next hour. And then we're going to be joined by Lord Monckton on the big climate change news as their whole fraudulent system implodes. Here's some of the news up on Infowars.com. TSA to roll out covert surveillance vans. Details of snooping technology kept secret. You can see photos of the vans and Homeland Security and the rest of it. This is all breaking at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. And by the way, Intel's Inside Core i5 vPro, this is their promotional video. We're breaking it in the news. But 3 days ago, Rob Dew said, have you seen? A listener sent us the Intel website where they're promoting that the chips will control your life for the government. And I went and watched it, and I started telling Watson, that was Sunday, I guess I saw that. Started telling Watson, do a story on this, do a story on this, do a story on this. And so now it's Thursday, and he did do a story on it. Watson just does so much. This got, or maybe it was Monday, actually. It was 3 or 4 days ago. The point is that that story is up on Infowars.com. Completely hiding in plain view in front of everyone. In front of everyone. In everyone's face. Continuing with Obamacare, then we're going to Obamacare supporters calling in. Obama on Obamacare. Quote, we did raise taxes on some things, and it is a tax, and it did raise payroll taxes. He broke his promise, but that's okay. Californians will pay 10th highest rates in the country under health exchange. That's the San Jose Mercury News, admitting massive increases in your free health care. And, of course, the debt limit being raised doesn't raise the debt. Of course, it does, but so what? Exchanges may have high out-of-pocket cost. And we've got that report right there. Continuing, Obama's 3,000 health law premiums test limits of affordability. Bloomberg says people aren't liking that. They're getting you ready now. They're telling you, you know, we said this wouldn't hurt. It's going to hurt. But big foreign banks wrote this because they care about you. Really, when you were in control of Iraq, you killed millions and shut off their power and water and medicine. Under Agenda 21, it's like, but we love you, but you're putting al-Qaeda into all these countries to overthrow the secular governments and mass murder. Well, it's because we're sweet. Again, the globalists are sweet. You're right. They're doing this to give you a free deal. And if you are under welfare and you are under their control, taking all the shots and being soft-killed properly, you will get some free health care for a while. Watered down, lower standard of care. Getting rid of everybody's standard of care. That's the new system. So that's just some of the news on that front. Let's go to some Obama supporters. Now, we've had quite a few people call in who aren't real Obama supporters, being sarcastic about things. Hopefully, Chester in Arizona says he supports globalist banker care, known as Obamacare, eugenics care, death panel care. Are you a real Obama supporter? I'll know instantly you'll start laughing at me and being arrogant and talking about how you're on a winning team with Obama, the reflected glory, the bandwagon effect of pea-brains. But if you're not one of those morons, then you're being sarcastic and you're calling in breaking the rules. We want to open the phones up only for Obamacare supporters. Let me give the number out to them if they can dial the phone. I know through all the fluoride and mercury and everything and the vaccines and the GMO and the McDonald's, it's hard to even be able to know what planet you're on. But here's the number for Obama supporters, 800-259-9231. You can call in to Bad Man's Show, Bad Racist Man's Show, 800-259-9231. You can call into Terrorist Show, as MSNBC says. They think you're so stupid as Obama supporters, they don't even show how I support terrorists. Let me try it slow, like Sesame Street. You can call in to the Grouch's Show. It's the phone. Use the Obama phone. Dial 1-800-259-9231. He gave you phone. He do more. Let's talk to Chester. Chester, are you a real Obama supporter?
Yes, Alex, I like your introduction there. And so far, I like your show. This is the first time I ever been on here. And let me start off, Alex, by saying that I am the president of the Senior Citizen Fight Back.org. And what we do, we help senior citizens get off the streets and into affordable housing. Now, to the Obama care program, it will benefit a lot of the senior citizens that are homeless, and we will be able to start to work with them and get them signed up to be able to get them medical care. That's why I believe that the Obamacare program will help a lot of senior citizens that does not have insurance coverage this very day, that are living out on the street, to where they can go in now to a medical center and sign up and get, you know, medical help. Not only maybe get that, hold on a minute.
Sure.
excuse me there. But not only get medical attention, but also get, you know, psych attention as well. You know?
No, I understand. Okay, now you sound like a nice, reasonable guy. And I understand if Godzilla attacked Tokyo, but then the next day he offered to hand out Band-Aids, people might take them. The point is, sir, the system is bankrupt. They've used this to domesticate everybody and get everybody dependent. Seniors can go in and get health care under the systems that are already there on record. I know that they deny citizens the care, just like they deny veterans because we're the enemy. I understand all of that. I am aware of all of that. I fully understand that this country's been shut down, deindustrialized, and you're just hoping to get something for poor people out there that really need it. And I said, if you're already on welfare, already poor, or already a senior, and you're eating dog food, Obamacare in the first phase might be an okay deal. But do you understand, sir, they really do have death panels in there, and it really is meant to further bankrupt things and make the whole system go socialist?
No matter what system you have, a capitalism system, a socialism system, or a terrorism system, the governments, they're not going to work. Communism, all these systems that mankind has set up this very day, they're not going to work, because I'm a God-fearing man. I only believe in God's kingdom. And we getting, you know, I don't want to get off the issue about supporting Obamacare, but I believe that it will help a lot of homeless senior citizens.
Sir, did you see all the poor ladies begging Obama for a free house on television? And did you know black unemployment is double in the last 5 years under Obama what it was?
Yes, I understand all that. Yeah, well, you know, it's like I said, big, you know, capitalism, big business.
Well, sir, this is this hope economy. But you've got to have a plan. It's like buying lottery tickets. That is a failure for one, you know, person, and maybe a good thing for the guy who's 1 out of a million. But let me ask you this. Do you think lottery tickets are a good idea?
I don't believe in gambling, but it does, you know, help. Let's put it that way. It does help.
Okay.
It put a hope in people's mind, but I don't believe in it. No, I don't believe in it, no.
But see, you don't believe in it, you don't do it, but it gives people hope. See, it's kind of like giving somebody a life raft and going, you're about to go in the North Atlantic, you'll die in 5 minutes, it's so cold without this life raft. Here's the life raft, get in and blow it up. And you get in and you find out it's got 50 holes in it. So it's a false hope. It's a setup, sir, and that's what makes me so mad about Obamacare. God bless you. I appreciate your call. Folks, we're in deep trouble. I mean, that's all I can tell you. Let's go ahead and talk to Elliot in Ohio. Go ahead. Is this a real Obama supporter?
Yeah. Not Obama supporter per se, but I don't have health insurance. And anytime I go to the ER, they just wheel me out of there after they check vitals, and I have a serious health condition.
That's right, but you need to demand. You need to go to the charity hospital, which most of them are. They just don't.
I don't need charity hospital. I mean, I can pay for my own bills. It's just that they know diagnosing me would be bad for business. So,
okay, well, let me tell you something. We know the healthcare system is very corrupt. They wrote this bill.
Well, all I'm saying is I've been to the ER 20 times in the last 3 months. 4 different emergency rooms, family doctors.
This is kind of like shooting yourself in the foot and saying it hurts. Maybe if I shoot myself in the foot with a shotgun, it'll fix it. Do you understand it was written by the globalist to take over health care and just diminish the care and give you even worse care, just like troops get at the VA. Do you understand that?
I think that the healthcare system is designed to weed out people that are sick that can't.
That's right. That's right. It's eugenics care, and they're getting rid. The elite are going to have all the life extension in their private clinics. They don't want you having access to that. That's why they're bringing government in to bring full control.
Only thing that I'm looking forward to is not being denied health coverage, because I know.
Buddy, get ready. You're gonna you're gonna get your vitals checked and get given aspirin, just like the VA.
Protecting your home with a security system is a must. But when it comes to protecting your family, your home, and belongings, there's no need to sign a long-term contract. Listen, there is some real scum in the alarm business, cashing in by locking you into long, punishing contracts. Not with Simply Safe Home Security. They're the good guys. You can trust Simply Safe to protect your family. Simply Safe was created by a Harvard Business School engineer, and it's revolutionary. You'll get 24-hour protection for just $14.99 a month. There are no hidden fees and no contracts. You'll save thousands. Plus, you're protected by their 100% money-back guarantee. Protect yourself against home invasions and break-ins. Order your Simply Safe system now and receive a wireless keychain remote, a $25 gift, free. So don't waste your time dealing with scum. Visit GetSimplySafe.com. GetSimplySafe.com. GetSimplySafe.com.
Great news, pure water lovers. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has a special discount offer for all GCN listeners. You can't do better than a Big Berkey for economy. For only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. There's none better than a Big Berkey for emergency preparedness as a backup water source. And you just can't beat a Big Berkey to remove dangerous chlorine, all types of fluoride, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, parasites, and unhealthy byproducts from municipal water. Berkey water filter systems are even powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. For the gold standard in water filters, get a Big Berkey at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And all GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems. For details, call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
There are those curious about Bitcoins and those using and making money with Bitcoins. What are Bitcoins? A Bitcoin is the first decentralized currency that can be easily transferred from person to person over the internet. No bank needed. This means lower fees, and accounts can never be frozen, limited, or closed. You are in control of your money. And the best part? You can start earning and making money with Bitcoins right away. No computer or expertise is required to earn money with Bitcoins, and a growing number of merchants now accept Bitcoins. Plus, they're easily exchanged for dollars, euros, and more. Learn more about the easiest, cheapest, most profitable way to enter the Bitcoin market and get paid every 2 weeks by one of the fastest-growing Bitcoin miners in the world at cloudhashing.com. Just like it sounds, cloudhashing.com. That's cloudhashing.com. We mine your business.
You're the kind of person who makes smart choices and is always prepared. That's why the PrepMart.com is perfect for you. Cook a great backyard meal with steam in about an hour with the Can Cooker Jr. Normally $74, on sale now for just $64.95. It's great for camping and emergencies, and batteries are on sale, up to 10% off our low prices. Right now at theprepmart.com. Great customer service you can trust. Get prepared at theprepmart.com. That's theprepmart.com.
It's National Preparedness Month, and ReadyMadeResources.com is proud to announce an unprecedented sale. For a very limited time, you can save 45 to 70% on all Mountain House cans and case lots. Best of all, you can mix and match, and all orders include free shipping. Visit ReadyMadeResources.com and save 45 to 70% while supplies last. Hurry, this sale ends September 30th. Call 800-627-3809. 800-627-3809. ReadyMadeResources.com. Get the best for less.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back live. And we are joined by Dr. Edward F. Group III. Doing research over the years, his name just continues to come up as the guy. And he's got so many doctorates here behind his name, I can't even go over all of it. But we'll, in the next segment, get into some of that. But it's, I don't know, it's got to be like 10 different things. Of all the things you've done, Dr. Group, what are you most proud of? And then I want to get your take on Obamacare and what you know about it. And then we'll get into some of the big health issues out there and some of the big secrets that the establishment doesn't want people to be aware of.
I would say probably the biggest accomplishment is just getting the information out to the public, letting them know what causes disease, because the medical system still treats the symptoms and they don't want to treat the cause, obviously, because they lose money if they treat the cause. The cause is all the toxins that are coming in through the air, the water, the food, the GMOs, the fluoride, all the contaminants and the poisons. And really, there's a simple solution, which is just detoxification and, you know, letting those individuals clean themselves and get healthy, eating organic foods. And I think we've come a long way in the last 10 or 15 years pushing for that. And with your help and everybody else's help, exposing all the disease-causing agents that are out there.
Well, I talk the talk. I don't walk the walk. I used to be a guy that exercised a lot, and then for a long time just stopped doing it. But now in the last few years, I've gotten back into it, lost a lot of weight, got a lot healthier, even though I work a lot of hours many days and have a stressful job. I couldn't do it without trying to get back to being healthy. I mean, there's just no way. And we see people just collapsing everywhere. I'm seeing a lot of insanity out there. I mean, it's just, and the numbers show that society's in trouble. All the electromagnetic radiation, all the GMO, all the fluoride in the water, all the chemicals, all the additives. What do you think the establishment's thinking, Dr. Group?
I think that they're trying to control the population, really. I mean, because if you put everything together, it all leads up to that, poisoning the water supply, poisoning the air supply. I mean, the whole Obamacare situation is still not going to do anything but create more sickness and more disease throughout the world. I mean, we keep going down, 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 down instead of up, 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 up. But the good thing is people are, with the help of the internet, going online, starting to look for things because they're going back and forth to the doctor. They're on 15, 20 medications, and nobody can tell you what happens in the system when you put all those medications together, and they're having more side effects, and nobody's getting better. So people are actually starting to take responsibility for their own health now.
I think that's what's happening, and it's going to be more important than ever. I was actually watching this weekend hours and hours at night of Codex Alimentarius debate in Germany and other places. Folks don't know. Multinationals set it up. They run it. They've already done it in Europe, banning vitamins and minerals, vitamin C, down to levels that do nothing, and making a bottle of vitamin C costs 50 euros when it doesn't even have the vitamin C of an orange peel. I mean, they're doing everything they can to take over people trying to take care of themselves.
That's exactly what they're doing, and they're doing a good job of it, too, because people are dumbed down. I mean, now they're doing it from when the women are pregnant. I mean, used to be they would start doing this when kids got 15, 16, but look at the last 15 years. Look at how many kids now are being diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, autism. Look at the mineral deficiencies in pregnant women. Look at all the chemicals coming out through their breast milk right now. Look at the soy formulas that they're feeding children with the GMOs and all the...
Yeah, it's not like it's an accident. Out of thousands of types of plastic, they pick the types that are estrogen mimickers. Soy, the way they process it, knowing it's giving estrogen to the... I mean, this is a plan.
Yeah, we are in an estrogen-dominant society for men and women, and that's where iodine comes in, too, because estrogen... When you're deficient in iodine, your estrogen levels can go up because the thyroid gland regulates your hormones and keeps your estrogen levels in balance and keeps your hormones in balance.
By the way, you look like you're about a 25-year-old surfer, and you're 46.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's all due to eating healthy, eating an organic diet, and avoiding all the chemicals. I mean, even household chemicals, keeping the air clean, et cetera. So I try to avoid all those things as much as possible, anything that causes disease, and try to only put things in my system that are going to create health instead of disease.
Now, I want to talk more about Obamacare when we come back and then take a few calls, but then I want to get into iodine. It's funny that you're scheduled here today when I happen to be launching Survival Shield, which you actually formulated. This is the best form of nascent iodine, and you're going to help us, Dr. Group, because you're one of the top formulators in the country, come up with a whole line of products One of them that you developed with Anthony Gucciardi that is going to be a super detox coming out very, very soon. We won't get into that too much today, but this nascent iodine, I'm told, is one of the top detoxers of fluoride as well.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact of the matter is pretty much everybody is deficient in iodine. We don't have iodine in the soil anymore. Only a fifth of the salt is iodized, and nobody can get enough iodine in their system. And we'll talk about all the different things that...
Let's talk about that when we come back.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
The world is discovering the power of medicinal silver to fight against life-threatening pathogens. And as a result, dozens of silver solutions have emerged. You can even make your own colloidal silver at home in your garage. How do you know which solution is the safest and most effective? Supernatural Silver is a new patented technology that is made using 10,000 volts of AC current. This technology is so powerful, it must be made in a laboratory. Colloidal and ionic silvers use a charge of only 110 volts of DC current, making supernatural silver hundreds of times more effective against viruses, bacteria, and fungus. Supernatural silver liquid can be used internally, and our silver gel can be used topically. To find out more information on how supernatural silver can help you win the war against deadly pathogens, go to supernaturalsilver.com. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code SAFE for 20% off and like us on Facebook.
My friends, Alex Jones here to tell you about some of the most important information concerning you and your family's health. Radiation levels have more than doubled in the last 60 years in the Northern Hemisphere from all of the nuclear testing and radiological accidents. Radioactive contamination is now in most of the food supply. There's only two ways to avoid this. Move south of the equator or properly protect your thyroid with nascent iodine. Looking to protect my family, I've done deep research. Nascent iodine is the purest, cleanest, absolute best form of iodine to protect yourself and your family. It's made right here in the USA, completely non-GMO. I searched out the best quality and now have developed a double-strength form of nascent iodine, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Nascent iodine is on record as one of the only safe ways to detox from fluoride poisoning. Survival Shield Nascent Iodine. Secure your super high-quality nascent iodine today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
Every 3 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity theft. We also hear news stories every day about the NSA spying on U.S. citizens. It is now more important than ever to protect yourself and your information on the web. PrivateInternetAccess.com is a virtual private network service that can encrypt your internet connection while hiding your IP address. Their service also provides firewall protection in order to prevent data mining and unwanted exposure. They keep no records of your web browsing history. PrivateInternetAccess.com is an American company that understands you need to protect your inalienable rights. Private Internet Access does not even log any of your traffic, period. Privacy is their #1 policy. You can use their service anywhere with an internet connection, and with one account, you can protect up to 5 devices at the same time. Go to PrivateInternetAccess.com right now in order to secure the privacy of you and your loved ones. Don't wait and allow you and your family to become victims. Visit PrivateInternetAccess.com today.
Live from Austin, Texas, it's Alex Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with Dr. Edward F. Group. I am your host, Alex Jones, and he heads up the Global Healing Center. He's got a whole bunch of things to his name: alternative medicine practitioner, certified clinical herbalist, holistic health practitioner, certified clinical nutritionist, naturopathic physician, diplomat of the Chiropractic Board of Clinical Nutrition, diplomat of the American Board of Functional Medicine, diplomat of the American Board of Nutrition. It just goes on and on. Doctor of Chiropractic from the Texas Chiropractic College, a whole bunch of other stuff, and world-renowned for formulating different herbs and minerals and so much more, doing a lot of really, really exciting work. And what Big Pharma is doing is running around trying to block all this. when they grab it, manipulate it, and then patent it, and then charge you $300 for fish oil instead of, $30 or $10. This is what they're doing. And we are launching Survival Shield, nascent iodine dietary supplement. I did a lot of research on this because I talked to a lot of scientists. They said, well, to avoid the increased radiation in the Northern Hemisphere from Fukushima and all the other disasters that we've seen, Chernobyl, all the other leaks, the Northern Hemisphere has more than double the level it was just 60 years ago. And all the cancer increases. The UN says about 1 million people have died from Chernobyl alone. Fukushima is much bigger. That's ongoing. Move to the Southern Hemisphere. We've actually looked at moving my wife and children there. If a big reactor blows up in North America and is coming across Texas, we will. Because even then, nascent iodine isn't enough. But with the background radiation and stuff, all the experts I've talked to, Survival Shield, the nascent iodine is the best. That's what all the literature says. And I wanted to ask Dr. Group why that is, and then get into not just Survival Shield, nascent iodine from InfoWarsLife.com, but just in general, why hyperthyroidism in women's off the chart? Why there's so many problems with the pineal gland? Well, in the periodic table, fluoride, sodium fluoride, and iodine are right there beside each other. So they put in the water what is bad for the thyroid and take out of the salt. We used to have good government 50 years ago. They're like, put it in the salt. You need it. No. They're like, no. Take that out. Put this in. What a sick joke, ladies and gentlemen. And if the government's going to force medicate us, hey, iodine, but still that's unethical. It's our job to protect ourselves. Survival Shield, the first rollout. More's coming out next month at InfoWarsLife.com, or you can call toll-free 888-253-3139. I did research and talked to Dr. Group, but also countless other medical doctors, nutritionists, scientists, saw what they're officially saying to protect your thyroid from radiation. They've got these chemicalized pills that are so cheap put out by the government that are recommended. That's better than nothing. They've got the chemical iodine. Dr. Group, and then I'll quit plugging, you helped formulate this double strength, half the price of the leading competitor, the InfoWars Life.com Survival Shield. What is different about your formulation, which I want to thank you for formulating this for us, in the FDA-approved and accredited lab up in Utah? What is different from this compared to what most people are taking? And then get into the power of iodine, period.
The difference between that is if you look at different types of iodine, whether it's for radiation or exposure, or if you're just taking it for thyroid health, you're going to have potassium usually bonded to a salt, which is going to be potassium iodide or sodium iodide. Those are going to be the pills that they hand out after Chernobyl and everything else. But those have to be broken down in the body. They do work, like you said, but you also have a lot of excipients and fillers and magnesium stearate and a bunch of toxins. So why take something good if it's also bonded with a lot of toxins? What we wanted to do is we wanted to create an iodine that was in the atomic form. Now, other iodine is going to be in a diatomic form, which means it has two bonds and the body has to break one. Sometimes the body doesn't break it, so you could take a lot of iodine and only absorb maybe 10% or 20%. We wanted something that's going to go straight into the bloodstream and straight into the thyroid gland, that you could get a usable form of iodine. And the only difference when you say detoxified or nascent iodine, it just means it's in its atomic form. Another thing that we wanted to do is we wanted to put it in a vegetable glycerin base. That's a USP kosher certified vegetable glycerin base. And that product is not tested on animals. It's vegan friendly. It's gluten free. It's GMO free. All the other iodine supplements out there, number one, they're not in the nascent form. Number two, they contain alcohol. Who wants to give alcohol to their child, or who wants to take heavy doses of alcohol? And that alcohol usually is from GMO corn derived.
And let's expand on that. My family's been taking this, my wife, others, folks from the office, they go, why does this almost taste good compared to other iodine that tastes horrible? That's because it's real iodine, atomic form.
It's atomic form, and it's in a vegetable glycerin base, which has a little sweet taste to it. So you don't have the strong iodine taste like you would with some of the other products.
Wow, keep going.
Well, the reason why people have such a, and this is not just for radiation, this is for everybody, women, children, all the guys out there. I mean, everybody pretty much has an iodine deficiency, and you have to ask yourself, why do we all have iodine deficiencies? Well, iodine was added to salt because they knew the health organizations how much of a problem it was because they had the goiter belt, which was up around Michigan. All these people started having goiters years ago. A goiter is a cystic scar tissue lump that forms in your thyroid from not enough iodine. Well, so they put it in salt, but now they came back and said, don't eat salt because it causes heart disease. So you have a lot of people that aren't putting salt in their foods anymore, so you're not getting enough iodine from salt.
I go all over the place. Most women over 40 have that jowl. Even if they're skinny, you can see they have what African tribes and people get when they don't get iodine. I mean, it's right there. And no one will tell them. Their doctor will put them on thyroid medicine and not tell them.
Right. Well, the woman's thyroid gland is twice as large as the male's, and that's why 6 to 1 female to males have thyroid conditions, depending on where you live. So women especially need iodine, and when women are pregnant, when their hormones rise, it causes a severe iodine deficiency. So they need iodine all the time. We don't have enough iodine in the food supply anymore either because the main source of iodine is going to be from sea vegetables or sea kelp and stuff like that. That's why the ladies in Japan, and we don't really see iodine deficiency so much in the Japanese or if you live next to the water. But everywhere else, we see major issues with the thyroid, and not only the thyroid, but this is what the medical practitioners and the doctors and organizations aren't telling you. There's been an extreme rise in polycystic ovarian disease, PCOS, with women, fibrocystic breast disease, because iodine is stored in the breast tissue, the ovaries, the prostate glands in men. It's utilized by every single cell in the body. People just associate it with the thyroid, but it's very important.
Yeah, tell folks about all those studies. They know the increased breast cancer, the increased cancer in men in the prostate. They know it's the fluoride being in the presence of where the iodine should be. I see the studies in the news all the time, but the doctors won't tell people.
Well, the doctors, they don't know because they're not taught, because it's their job to prescribe medications and make money. But, you know, if you look at it, exactly what you're saying, why are we iodine deficient? Because iodine is a halogen, just like fluorine and bromine and iodine. And you have these bonding points on the thyroid gland. And with all the fluoride coming in from the toothpaste and the mouthwash and the water supply, and chlorine is the other halogen in there too. And you have chlorine. People swim in chlorinated pools. You have it in the water supply. You have it everywhere. All that builds up inside the system, and it blocks the receptor sites for the iodine, because if there's chlorine going by or there's fluoride going by in the bloodstream, the thyroid will take it up as if it was iodine and block the absorption of iodine. So then you have major problems. Now, what iodine does is as soon as you put it in the body, it actually helps detoxify fluoride. It helps detoxify bromine, which, by the way, iodine was put into bread, white flour, years ago when the organizations found that we were so deficient in it. But then they replaced it because it also, bromide works as a anti-insecticide agent. When they do white flour, they put bromide in there. So now, since they made that change from iodine in white flour to bromide in white flour, we've seen massive iodine deficiency. And now the doctors are prescribing all the thyroid medications, and they're not addressing the root cause of the problem by giving people iodine instead of all the thyroid medications.
So instead of even taking thyroid replacement, you should just be taking iodine.
I believe in looking at all the different studies and the doctors out there that use iodine. You see fibrocystic breast disease go away, polycystic ovarian disease go away. You see the goiters in the thyroid go away. It can take a period of time taking iodine every single day, but as a preventative measure, I think everybody should stock up on iodine, and here's why. In the case of a disaster, iodine is hard to get. I mean, we had to go through DEA approval because it's used to make methamphetamine,
yeah.
So,
but this is expensive. I mean, for those that don't know, compared to most supplements, I had to pay a lot of money, and that's why I'm selling it like half price. When the leading competitor, it's like $60 for a bottle of this, $30 at InfoWarsLife.com.
You just really can't put a price on your health and saving your family. I mean, the thing is, I recommend everybody stock up and at least have 10, 20, 30, however much you can afford at your house, because you can use it for cuts if you're in a situation where the power goes out, or if you need to purify water, you can put some drops in there. I mean, iodine has so many uses, you should just always keep it handy. In the case of a tragic radiation event, you might have to take up to a bottle in one day for radiation loading to get enough iodine in your system to block the radioactive iodine-131. So not only that, I recommend, and my children even take the iodine on a daily basis because you're just not going to get enough of it in your daily diet.
But then I've seen people that demonize even giving your children supplements. You know, famously, back in 2010, there was the cover, we've shown this before, of Reader's Digest saying, you know, the vitamin hoax, you don't need them. And on the back was the big, you know, Prozac ad, basically. And half the magazine was drug company ads. They are really out to get vitamin C, iodine, these key things, because they're out of business if people discover this.
It's all about dumbing down the society, and one of the ways the Nazis did it, and you know, back in the day with fluoride, you know, the adding sodium fluoride to the water, and it dumbs you down and it causes calcification of your pineal gland. And the pineal gland is, you know, in all the Indian philosophies and stuff, it's your third eye, and it brings your level of consciousness up. Well, they've proven now that the fluoride and a lack of iodine causes a decreased IQ and mental retardation if the mother doesn't have enough iodine or the child doesn't have enough.
That's right.
iodine.
Separately, a woman that drinks fluoridated water, I mean, you can pull these studies up, has a lower IQ in the child overall. But the same thing, not having iodine does it, so it's a double whammy.
Exactly. The body's supposed to have iodine. The fluoride wouldn't have an effect. So, I mean, you can trace all this stuff back and say, okay, well, why is it such a plan to take the iodine out of everything? And even with Fukushima, where you've poisoned all of the kelp and everything in the whole Pacific Ocean, because the kelp has the same receptors pretty much as we have in the thyroid that take in iodine. So the kelp is actually taking in the radiotrophic iodine, or the iodine-131, and causing genetic and DNA damage to the actual product that we take iodine from. So everybody is going to need an iodine supplement sooner or later, and better sooner than later.
Well, by the way, I mean, Mike Adams 2 years ago said you ought to carry this monofilin. It's a small company from way down, you know, near the South Pole. It's very, very clean, and it's great. Well, I go, okay, fine, I'll carry it. You know, I believe you. And that's how we fund our operation as well, to get the news out, is selling good products. And so I listened to you, I listened to him. Weldon started taking it, and I need to get Weldon Henson in here. He already, you know, looked good, was already in good shape, and he's a successful country music singer all over Texas. But he's like, man, I really listened. He said about it for 4 months, his nails grew faster, his hair grew faster. He said that a little spot on his hair started coming back a little bit. It was amazing. And he lost all this weight without even, you know, still eating the same thing, still going out and playing until 2 at night, 3 nights a week, you know, playing at rodeos all over the state. He started going, man, you got to take this. So I started taking the monofilin. Now my wife takes it constantly. She's addicted to it. And now, about a month ago, I started taking this as we were developing it, and your brand of it blew me away. The Atomic Iodine, InfoWarsLife.com. And I'm not trying to turn this into a plug. I didn't even mean to. I wanted to get into iodine itself. There's other great nascent iodine out there, you know, Dr. Groups. Plug your website.
Well, my website is globalhealingcenter.com, and we have just a wealth of information up there. That
you got hundreds of stuff, hundreds of things you formulated. It's amazing.
Yes. I mean, and the reason why I started formulating stuff is because I had a cancer clinic years ago. I just delved right in, and I wanted to, you know, work with cancer patients. And we started using, actually, monofilin was one of the products that we used. And iodine is extremely effective against cancer. I mean, there's doctors out there that are specializing in breast cancer right now, and they're having women with breast cancer rub and paint iodine all around their breasts, and they're getting extremely good results, even with ovarian cancer. Now, you know, the government and the medical community is pushing for double mastectomies. They want to do a hysterectomy on women that have ovarian cysts and just take it out. You can't take organs out. I mean, every organ is there for a reason.
And to be specific, because I've been reading the studies, these genetic traits were always there to be predisposed to heart attack, predisposed to this type of cancer. Yeah, if you drink, smoke, and eat all the hamburgers. The point is that these rates are all going up, and they're saying it's genetic. When we already had the same genetics, it's that we have the deficiencies, but they won't tell people that.
No, and there's a guy named Bruce Lipton that proved that genes don't cause disease. It's the environment that causes the disease. You might be predisposed to it, like you said, but
it's the nature, it's the nurture.
It has to be activated by a lack of something or too much of something else that's bad for you. So That's the situation that we're in right now. And that's one of the reasons prostate cancer is on the rise too, is because prostate takes up iodine, and the men that are lacking iodine causes the prostate to become cystic and causes the prostate to swell and eventually leads to prostate cancer.
Let me ask you a question, because I know it's not placebo, because I just take whatever, even if it's recommended and I've seen great results and have all the studies, I start taking, beforehand, obviously, whatever I promote, knowing it was good for me, but I get energy out of this. Instead of having coffee, I'll have my Beyond Tangy Tangerine, and I'll take something like nascent iodine, and for me, it's like a drug. What's happening there, or is that placebo?
What's happening is your thyroid is an endocrine gland, and it's also associated with your adrenal glands. So when you're deficient of iodine, see, when the iodine comes in, the thyroid produces T3 and T4 hormones. T3 just means there's 3 iodines attached, and T4 means there's 4 iodine molecules attached. When the thyroid is working and functioning, it regulates your metabolism. It regulates and balances your hormones. It actually detoxifies mercury and heavy metals too. And it helps regulate your adrenal glands. So basically what's happening, and the reason you have energy, and you mentioned weight loss earlier, that we've put people on iodine, and over a period of 8 weeks, all that fat starts disappearing because the glands start working together and functioning again.
When we come back, I want to ask you, how much, because I know we always put on the indication lower than what you'd really take, how much InfoWars Life Survival Shield would you take?
I would take, depending on the condition, what you want to work with, I would take it as a maintenance dose of 6 drops, maybe twice a day.
That's what I've been doing.
Times are changing, and violent crimes against law-abiding citizens are out of control. Protect yourself with legal, affordable, 100% made in the USA ballistic body armor. Available at AR500.com. Rated for calibers up to .308 Winchester. Packages including armor start at only $210. It's the right of every responsible American citizen to own body armor. Get some at 602-501-9607 or AR500.com.
Are you prepared for disasters, job loss, and uncertain times? Make Emergency Essentials your first stop for premier food storage and emergency preparedness supplies. Compare our food storage ounce to ounce, and it's easy to see. Emergency Essentials has the best quality and lowest priced emergency food storage guaranteed. Call Emergency Essentials at 800-999-1863 today or visit beprepared.com. The choice is clear. Be unprepared or beprepared.com.
Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gate, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filter today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139.
Curious about what comes next? Next is the feeling of vulnerability you get after you arrive home to discover your house has been ransacked by burglars. Fool the bad guys with a new improved fake TV. You asked for it, we listened, and we made our new fake TV 3 times brighter than our previous model. The brightness of our new fake TV is equivalent to a 40-inch TV. It simulates the color and motion of a real TV while you're away from home. And when burglars think someone is home watching television, they're likely to pass your house and move on to an easier target. The new, brighter fake TV is only $39.95 and includes free shipping. Go to faketv.com or call 1-877-5-FAKE-TV. That's 877-532-5388 or go to faketv.com. Fake TV, the burglar deterrent.
got some Obamacare supporters we're going to go to when we start the next hour with Dr. Group, who's riding shotgun with us. And again, the more I learn about nutrition and the more of the mainline studies I read, it is just mind-boggling that the average doctor, medical doctor out there, when somebody comes in with a hyperthyroid problem and a woman's throat's all swole up, and 50 years ago they put iodine in the salt on record to stop that, and this doctors, because I've talked to these women, the doctors don't know, and then the women go, a lot of times the medical doctors that do these hormone clinics, and they put them on a bunch of, you know, synthetic thyroid stuff, but also iodine. And then all of a sudden they're better again. But they go through such hell before they're even told that, when it's simple. You need fresh fruits and vegetables. You need vitamin C. You need iodine. What are some of the other things people really need?
I'll tell you the biggest breakthrough that we had, and, you know, we had a cancer clinic, and we saw pretty much every single degenerative disease you could imagine. I mean, we even treated some of the royal family for stuff that was highly confidential. And after all, we were trained too. I mean, even in naturopathic school, chiropractic school, you're still taught to prescribe something for the symptom. It's natural. It's not a prescription. It's not going to do any harm. But my whole philosophy was, let me figure out what the root cause of all these things are. That's what's lost. That's what we need to focus on. So after 15 years, and I had 260-something supplements in my cabinet that I would prescribe out to people. But what we did that nobody else did, and why our results were so good, is that we started cleaning the body out. And that's the key factor in cleansing. And let me tell you, you don't need you don't need bags full of all these vitamins, because most of them are toxic anyway. I mean, if you go to any drugstore, any wholesale store out there, you're just going to get a bunch of garbage.
Well, that's why I'm so honored to be working with you, is that you are known as the guy that develops the incredibly clean, you know, organic, FDA tested, certified products.
And because I couldn't find any out there, that was one of the reasons that I did that. I mean, I do have a background in biochemistry and chemistry. My dad was a chemist, and there was nobody out there that was doing high quality stuff, you know, and really taking the time to track everything from start all the way through production.
You know what's crazy is that the establishment all knows this, and if you run into them, they're all obsessed with this and are healthy. They literally don't want the public to know this. That's so evil.
I had the chief oncologist from MD Anderson in my office. They tried to set me up and brought a patient in there. And I brought him back in the back, and the first thing I asked the patient was, did these doctors tell you why you have cancer? And she just looked up at me and said, no. And I said, everybody sit down and let me explain to you why you have cancer. So doctors aren't explaining to people why they have disease, because you have to understand why you have it first to understand how to treat it. I mean, I'm not going to go rewire my
Notice the National Breast Cancer Association never asked, why is it up 3,000% in the last 20 years or 30 years? They just say, let's find the cure. Well, no, let's find out why it's increasing. Why is it increasing?
It's increasing because nobody is cleaning their body out. I mean, you take a shower and wash the outside of your body every single day, but how many people do you know that are cleaning their intestines on a weekly basis, cleaning their liver and gallbladder a couple times a year, cleaning their kidneys, cleaning their parasites out of their...
And you were promising me off air, will you, because I know you come to Austin every few weeks, will you start coming and put me on a whole program and help me?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to do
Good, because I've done a few things and seen big results, but with the stress level, it's just, I want to go all the way.
Look, what we found is everything is in simplicity. I mean, everybody has a self-healing mechanism inside their body, and just nobody knows how to reactivate it. But the easiest way to reactivate your body's self-healing mechanism is to clean all the garbage.
Dr. Group, stay there. I want to hear how we clean it.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Cal-Ben Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soap that is triple concentrated and made from the highest quality vegetable and coconut oils. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog and buy American-made products. Order the sampler, a 1 to 2 month supply, or get a 1 to 2 year supply of soaps for all your cleaning needs. You're getting soap products twice as good as what you're using now. This is an amazing deal, and you will love the way real soap makes your skin feel. Call 1-800-340-7091 or visit www.5starsoap.com. Alex and his staff have used these earth-friendly, pure soaps for years. See them on the web, www.5starsoap.com, or call 1-800-340-7091 for a catalog.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
GlobalHealingCenter.com, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Group looks like a 10-year-old boy, but he's actually 46. No, I'm joking. Looks like a 25-year-old surfing champion or something. But he's here with us, and I'm telling you, I keep talking to experts all over the country, and they keep saying, Dr. Group, Dr. Group, Dr. Group, Dr. Group, Dr. Edward F. Group III, founder of the Global Healing Center. And he's going to be with us till the bottom of the hour. I'm going to take some of your phone calls coming up in the next segment. Folks that are supporting Obamacare. And what we're hearing from him before he got here is, I'm poor, I'm on welfare, I heard my health care will be free. And then I go, but wait, you're supposed to get free health care already. People don't even know this. And that's what blows me away. But we'll talk more about that coming up. But continuing with iodine, the news you were trying to tell folks.
They're getting disease care is what they're getting. They're not ever going to be better. But continuing with iodine is a preventative. I mean, think of all the money that we could save if people just took iodine. I mean, we would have, just think of all the money spent on fibrocystic breast disease alone. Think of all the money spent on mammograms, which severely radiate the breast tissue. Think of all the money spent on prostate conditions. I mean, cancer. It's a proven fact that an iodine deficiency increases the rate of cancer. Look at breast cancer. Look at all the walks out there. I mean, the fact of the matter is all these people give money to all these cancer organizations, and nothing is ever done. It just goes right back into the whole system. But some of the symptoms of iodine deficiency, I mean, if you're at home or wherever you are right now and you have brain fog, I mean, it's hard for you to concentrate at work. That's a symptom. If you have low energy levels, if you have pains, if you have thyroid problems, if you don't feel up to par, for women, fibrocystic breast disease, fertility even is associated, infertility. I mean, look at all the infertility clinics that are out there these days. I mean, we would just give women and men levels of iodine, and then they would be able to have nice and healthy babies.
Isn't it vitamin E, too, associated with getting pregnant?
Vitamin E, a good dose of all your vitamins, all your minerals. But eventually, I mean, one of the things that worked the best was just detoxifying them and cleaning them all out, because you have all this stuff that builds up inside your system and builds up and builds up. And that's why some people, when they start taking iodine, will have what's called a Herxheimer reaction or a detoxification reaction. And in some cases, you might feel a little bit worse initially than you feel better. But that's a good sign. That means you're detoxifying all that fluoride buildup, the mercury buildup in there, the bromine buildup in your system, and the chlorine buildup in your system. You don't want those things. All of those things have been proven as carcinogens, cancer-causing agents. And look at aluminum, for example. They're spraying aluminum everywhere in the air, through the chemtrails, aluminum cans. Well, if you put iodine and aluminum together, it causes a violent reaction. So couple that with mercury and other metals and everything, you have these reactions that are just literally destroying our brain cells, and it's dumbing down the society. So that's another reason why you need to protect the thyroid and protect your whole body and your family with iodine.
You bet. Now, we're going to go to break and come back and talk about ways to detoxify and take some phone calls. But why is nascent iodine so important?
Nascent iodine is so important because it goes directly to the thyroid. It's not bonded to a salt, which means it doesn't have to be broken down, and it's the most usable form. It's what the body uses. It's what the body is designed to use. It's an atomic form. See, iodine by itself, the element iodine, is very toxic. I mean, you can put a piece of iodine on your skin and it'll literally burn through your skin. I mean, iodine will also create a gaseous form if it's exposed to air, and you can breathe that in and it can become toxic. So we actually detoxify the iodine and put it in a nascent form, and that way it's easily taken, it goes right into your bloodstream, and it goes right into the thyroid gland.
That's right. You don't want to go to the store and buy the chemical iodine and put that on your tongue.
No, that's dangerous. I mean, you can die probably from that.
Yeah. In fact, tell us what the FDA says about nascent. Don't they say nascent's the only one proven to protect you from the particular isotope? What I read. We'll stay there. We'll come right back.
Okay.
Protecting your home with a security system is a must. But when it comes to protecting your family, your home, and belongings, there's no need to sign a long-term contract. Listen, there is some real scum in the alarm business, cashing in by locking you into long, punishing contracts. Not with Simply Safe Home Security. They're the good guys. You can trust Simply Safe to protect your family. Simply Safe was created by a Harvard Business School engineer, and it's revolutionary. You'll get 24-hour protection for just $14.99 a month. There are no hidden fees and no contracts. You'll save thousands. Plus, you're protected by their 100% money-back guarantee. Protect yourself against home invasions and break-ins. Order your Simply Safe system now and receive a wireless keychain remote, a $25 gift, free. So don't waste your time dealing with scum. Visit GetSimplySafe.com. GetSimplySafe.com. GetSimplySafe.com.
Why does the United States spend the largest percentage of GDP in the world on healthcare? Why do we have the highest cancer rates on the planet, the highest rates of diabetes, autism, and every other major disease? It all comes down to one thing. We are what we eat. Our food is devoid of nutrition and processed with poisons and additives. Our water is filled with toxic poisons and big pharma runoff. All of this has been engineered by design. We can turn the tide against the eugenicist by giving ourselves the nutrients our body desperately needs. To learn more, visit InfoWarsHealth.com. The site is literally packed with audio and video featuring top health professionals who don't bow down to big pharma. The fight against the New World Order starts with you, and you can't stand against the machine if you're sick, tired, and obese. When you visit InfoWarsHealth.com, be sure and check out the catalog with nearly 400 life-changing products, and get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip. Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gate, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filters today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139.
Resistance to tyrants is obedience to God. It's Alex Jones.
Well, unfortunately, it's our final segment here with Dr. Edward F. Group. We're going to interview him today to intersperse it over the nightly news the next few weeks. Just amazing info that he's got on a host of issues, and he's really one of our top advisors here on health issues in the news. And he advised us on the development of Survival Shield, nascent atomic iodine, natural, healthy type. Compared to all the other groups out there, it is absolutely essential that you find out more at InfoWarsLife.com. We have it in double strength at half price. I could easily sell this for $60, like the competitors were selling it for $30 or $29.90 or something. And it helps also fund the news operation. But I believe in bringing you the best products. I was researching the best products for myself and my family with all the radiation and things. And it was everybody, all the experts said, why are you taking regular iodine pills? That stuff's incredibly toxic compared to nascent iodine. And then I looked it up, and sure enough, there it was in all the mainline literature. So if you want to check it out, you can buy them in groups of up to 5 and get big discounts, InfoWarsLife.com. Or if you're not online or just want to call and order 1 bottle or 5 bottles or more, the number is 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139. Now, I want to intersperse here in the conversation Obama supporters calling in who like Obamacare and who really think, hey, I'm poor, I'm going to get free health care. When, yeah, if you're on welfare, you already get free health care. Medicare, Medicaid, it's all there. This lowers the standard of care. It's written by the insurance companies to make you buy something and then not have to deliver care. It's written by the most corrupt companies on the face of the planet. And Dr. Group, before we go any further into how to detox briefly and take calls, how do you, and I know it's all on your website and give that out for folks, how do you recommend just as a beginner people detox? Now, I started taking, as you recommend, about 6 months ago, the non-GMO organic olive leaf extract. I did get the flu-like effect of that, and it did really clean me out. But the issue is people better be ready, though, you know, to get the monkey off the back, because these chemicals, these additives, these are addictive. They know what they've done.
Well, one of the things we didn't talk about, Alex, is the fact that how good iodine is at stimulating your immune system. And with the threat of biological warfare now, and with these super viruses and all this stuff that's coming up, if your thyroid gland is in good, top working condition and you have a store of iodine in there, iodine is the best way for your body to attack viruses and bacteria and mycoplasms and everything else that are floating in the bloodstream. What happens is when the blood comes through the thyroid gland, it will secrete excess iodine into the bloodstream and kill off all of those components.
Our bodies are incredible.
It is, but if you don't have enough iodine and they spray stuff or you're exposed to all these flus that are coming out all the time, this is one of the best antibiotics right there.
So the thyroid's almost like a little liver or something, because I mean, if you're saying it's detoxifying.
The thyroid is an endocrine gland that pretty much regulates everything. It's like kind of like the appendix in the bowel. I mean, you know, the medical science rips your appendix out if something's wrong with it. But with our research, we found that the appendix is actually the microcomputer system in the whole body. I mean, the appendix actually regulates your neurological system.
Well, just like in dinosaurs, I'm seeing all the studies where, like worms, they cut them off, and if they still have a stomach, they grow a new brain and heart. And they're saying it's similar, that the spinal cord into the... Explain to us, because Bill Gates is obsessed with this, the fact that we have little brains in our guts is what you're saying.
What I'm saying is the main processor for our whole body is located in our gut, and it's the appendix. And the Russians did research on it, and the Germans did research on it a long, long time ago. Why do you think you ask any doctor what the appendix does, and you ask, why is the appendix the only organ that medical
And they say it's not needed.
Exactly. They still don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Okay? But it's really the most important thing. And why wouldn't it be? Because that's the first exposure point to every single thing that comes in your body.
And so if your body's poisoned, it's going to be freaking out because we're eating GMO. The answer is cut it out.
The answer is cut it out.
It's like freaking out, going, Mayday, danger, Will Robinson. And the answer is, oh, my gosh, you know, the fire alarm's going off, deactivated.
Exactly. I mean, if you look at all the toxins that cause disease, 98, probably 99% of them enter through the intestinal lining. The appendix is located right at the juncture of the small intestine and the large intestine. So it first gets to see and feel every single thing that comes into your system and help adjust the pH levels, send signals to your neurological system. But with GMOs and all the other acid-forming foods and stuff, you're actually, with the Bt toxin from GMOs, burning holes into the intestinal lining, and these particles are going straight into the bloodstream.
Well, you know, the German universities and also one in the U.S. found the honeybees were dying because they would eat the Bt corn pollen, and that was burning holes in them.
Yes, and the butterfly population, too, as well.
Well, they're extremists, though. Let's just kill them.
So the whole point of the matter is repair the gut. So when you're talking about cleansing, I always recommend people do intestinal cleansing using an oxygen-based cleanser, because a lot of the psyllium and senna and cascara sagrada, some of these bulking agents, or even the toxic laxatives that you get from the drugstores, are going to cause more damage, and they're not actually going to bubble away all that compaction with all those toxins in there. So by using an oxygen-based cleanser, you can actually bubble away through nascent oxygen, just like nascent iodine. And actually, iodine and oxygen work hand in hand together.
Now, is oxygen FDA approved? Because oxygen is dangerous like carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It's evil. Al Gore said so.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for when somebody gets a patent on oxygen. I mean, then they're going to start selling us oxygen in big tanks, because the oxygen concentration has gone from 28% in the air 100 years ago down to like 9 and even 6% in some cities. So, I mean, lack of iodine, lack of oxygen, that just equals disease right there.
Now, that's a conspiracy theory. You're saying we need oxygen.
We die without oxygen. That is a conspiracy theory.
Well, no, now they're saying it's a conspiracy theory that children need to be breastfed.
But listen, they know that we need oxygen, so why not spray a bunch of aluminum?
Now, that's your opinion, doctor. That's your that's your opinion that carbon dioxide is what plants breathe. We need to cut the carbon dioxide.
Well, you know, the plants emit oxygen, and they take in our carbon dioxide. It's a whole ecosystem. So as we breathe, as long as we have enough plants, is another reason why I recommend everybody put live plants around their house, because they can increase their oxygen and decrease the carbon dioxide that they're breathing out. I mean, inside of homes and inside of buildings is a major issue. Those are the most toxic places in most cases, because...
Yeah, of course, I was being sarcastic. Just going after carbon dioxide is like going after oxygen, but they're doing it. And look at these hospitals where it's on record. They've got the super bugs. They're dirty. There's no life in them. Look at the rates of doctors dying and dentists dying. I mean, it is so toxic.
Well, I ask the question still, you know, why don't hospitals have good air purification systems in them? I mean, you know, that's a whole nother thing. There should not be any type of problems within hospitals. It's very easy to rectify with air purification and even microbial spray solutions instead of using the alcohol-based solutions that they're using for cleansing. They have new probiotic cleansing solutions that they can spray on there that actually put microbes that attack any type of MRSA or any type of infectious organisms that are in the hospitals. I mean, hospitals should be the cleanest places we go. I don't even go in hospitals, because if I go in there, I'm going to walk out with a sore throat, and everybody that goes in there pretty much walks out sick.
Almost. I mean, I hardly ever get sick unless I visit family or somebody in a hospital. I immediately get sick 2 days later.
I know, and look at how many hospitals are being built all over the place. I mean, we have a sick nation, we have a sick world, and, you know, hopefully with your help and all the stuff that we're doing on a daily basis, I mean, we're just educating people, and people are waking up.
Well, you're doing a superlative job, and I just want to invite all of the TV viewers and radio listeners, and it ends up supporting the broadcast. My philosophy is I go out, I do research on how to get healthy. Because for over a decade fighting the globalists, I just didn't care and got totally unhealthy. People could see I've got a little bit healthier, lost some weight, you know, trying to exercise. And of all the things I've done, nascent iodine was just absolutely amazing. So we developed with Dr. Group a double strength, low price. Instead of giving, there's so many groups out there, folks. I did research that just sell crud at super high prices. My plan with InfoWarsLife.com, this is our first product, the nascent iodine, the atomic iodine, is to have the highest quality products. And that's why I like his philosophy with Dr. Group. I've even signed agreements for all the stuff he's going to develop for me to have a low price, which is great. I'm like, of course I'll sign an agreement to have a low price with these products you're going to help me with, because that's my plan. Our philosophy is just the same, and I hope that you'll teach myself and my listeners everything you know, Doctor.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why I'm here, to spread the word. That's the whole mission. And, you know, we want everybody to be healthy. We want everybody to be clean, because if everybody is clean and they know how easy it is to detoxify their body, they can wake themselves back up.
InfoWarsLife.com, Survival Shield, the atomic nascent iodine, available right now, and there'll be more products coming up. One's being formulated and manufactured right now. We're not going to give it away yet, but this is something original, isn't it?
I tell you what you came up with.
Gucci already did.
The idea for this product that you're going to be launching is going to be incredible. And I'm excited about it.
Like when we told you, you said, why didn't I think of that?
You know, I was like, no one has ever done this before, ever. And it's probably the biggest rectifying, without giving away too much information, it's probably the most important thing that people can be doing with iodine to help support the body and the detoxification.
Here's a little hint. This detoxifies fluoride on record. But the thing that we're coming out with is going to supercharge it.
That's going to supercharge it.
Wow. Give out your website again.
GlobalHealingCenter.com.
Wow. All right, Dr. Group, thank you so much, buddy.
Thanks for having me on, Alex.
Thank you for driving all the way in from outside Houston to do this. Amazing. We'll be right back with Lord Christopher Monckton, and I promise we'll get to Sasha, Dr. Gonob, and John and others that love Obama. In fact, let's go to them next and then get Lord Monckton on at the bottom of the hour unless he's already on.
Every time you eat a cooked food, your body responds by producing an increase in circulating white blood cells. This happens because nature designed us to eat food that is undamaged at the molecular level. When we heat food to normal cooking temperatures, we change the shape of the molecules into shapes the body cannot use. The body now looks at them as toxins and allergens. In an effort to protect itself from this irritant, the body intelligently increases the amount of circulating white blood cells to act as garbage collectors. The white blood cells gobble up all the unusable damaged food particles to neutralize their cell-damaging properties. This puts stress on your organs of elimination, and your body is subject to cell damage and inflammation. If you'd like to start experiencing the benefits of undamaged protein in your diet, give One World Whey a try. It is a truly undamaged protein powder that will thrill your tastes and every cell of your body. Call 888-988-3325. That's 888-988-3325. Or visit oneworldwhey.com.
You are now in the crosshairs. The NSA and the FBI are treating you like a criminal and monitoring your every move. Ron Paul said recently, the evidence of the totalitarian nature of this government is on display undeniably every day. What's taking place right now is a coup and the destruction of the Constitution. Fortunately, there is something you can do about it. Learn how to be invisible, lock down your privacy, and even disappear forever. Go to privacylockdown.com to learn how. That's privacylockdown.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
Why does the United States spend the largest percentage of GDP in the world on healthcare? Why do we have the highest cancer rates on the planet, the highest rates of diabetes, autism, and every other major disease? It all comes down to one thing. We are what we eat. Our food is devoid of nutrition and processed with poisons and additives. Our water is filled with toxic poisons and big pharma runoff. All of this has been engineered by design. We can turn the tide against the eugenicist by giving ourselves the nutrients our body desperately needs. To learn more, visit InfoWarsHealth.com. The site is literally packed with audio and video featuring top health professionals who don't bow down to big pharma. The fight against the New World Order starts with you, and you can't stand against the machine if you're sick, tired, and obese. When you visit InfoWarsHealth.com, be sure and check out the catalog with nearly 400 life-changing products, and get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip.
There's a huge and hushed up conspiracy going on that's about to turn your lives upside down in the coming few months. Unbelievably, the media are keeping quiet about this. I'm sure they know it, but they probably know that revealing it on TV will generate mass hysteria and chaos. But I believe you should be informed about it, because when the sinister agenda is finally accomplished and everything unravels, only those who know this secret info will survive and thrive. Go to 123conspiracy.com right now to see the truth. The video at 123conspiracy.com reveals the real secret reason why Obama is after your guns and ammo. And it's not just in response to mass murders of preparing for war. It's something much darker. Go watch the video now at 123conspiracy.com before they shut it down. Again, that's 123conspiracy.com.
Whether it's the New York Times, Whether it's the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Associated Press, you name it, the headlines are replete everywhere. Global warming believers are feeling the heat. That's the London Telegraph today with James Dillingpole. As Germany gets caught at working with the White House to try to block news that all of their climate models are manifest frauds, that they have been trying to keep the fraud from the public. Now, for our longtime listeners, you're going to go, tell us something we don't know. We heard your guest on 10 years ago about the climate models being a fraud. The last 5 years, 6 years, we probably heard Lord Monckton 50 times on your show with his science and public policy website showing the documents. He's the guy that helped get out the emails showing ClimateGate fraud. He's the guy that helped bring out the fact that Pachari, heading up the climate deal, was shutting down plants in England, shipping them to where he owned them in India. It's a deindustrialization move to China and India where the globalists are in control, with robber barons on top of it. I want to go to Lord Monckton instead of singing his praises. The point is, he's been a devastating technician of liberty with the sword of truth, slaying massive dragons. And he's a rock star to me. I mean, people that are effective against tyrants, because I take these tyrants personal, what they're doing, doubling my power prices in Austin, shutting down all our clean-burning plants, brainwashing kids, ignoring all the hundreds of real environmental issues that are real problems, big oil and the Saudis funding the shutdown of coal because it's a competition to them. You know, I want to use our energy resources. I don't want to go to Saudi Arabia. And I'm sick of being told I work for oil companies when it's the opposite. They work for oil companies. So Lord Monckton joins us. This is a short segment, long segment. Coming up, he's always somewhere different. He goes to these big climate conferences. But this is the excuse to take over the world by taxing the carbon cycle. And it's bigger than ClimateGate, that it's a concerted fraud. They've known it's a fraud. I mean, folks, they take the sun out of the models, okay? I mean, it's ridiculous. They've been caught faking the temperature readings. And now it's all admitted. They are routed politically, but they don't care. They're still going forward. Lord Monckton, we've only got 4 minutes to break, but how big is what's happened? I mean, I think this is champagne time right now.
Alex, you're right. The scare is over, but not that they're going to admit it just yet. Here they are, just about to come out with yet another of these big, multi-thousand-page, lie-packed documents trying to say that it's all terrible, it's worse than ever we thought, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. This is Chicken Little on a grand scale. But the truth is that it's all over bar the shouting. They've now had to admit that for 16, getting on for 17 years, there has been no global warming at all. None of their models predicted that. So the models are now completely out of the window. They've also had to admit that the consensus that they try to tell us with 95% confidence is 97% of all scientists. It now turns out, on a careful measurement by their own side, to be 0.3%. That's all it is, 0.3% of all the 11,944.
The complete polar opposite, 180-degree difference.
Correct. It's 0.3%. There's now no doubt about this because this survey was done by their own people trying to prove there was a consensus. When they published it, they said it's 97.1%. But in a peer-reviewed paper, I and others did the homework. We got hold of the author's own data file, and we found that they had marked only 0.3% of all the papers, as in fact saying that, yes, most of the warming since 1950 was caused by us.
And here's the big one for me. Let's put the Daily Mail up, but even the BBC had to admit this. Top global warming scientists caught in meetings desperately trying to hide the decline, not just in the emails, but now in government conferences.
It's extraordinary how they have tried to deny. I mean, if you want to talk about who the climate deniers are, these are the people who have been trying to tell us global warming is terrible and it's getting worse. And the fact is that according to the RSS satellite data set, there has been no global warming at all for 16 years, 10 months. That's a lot of months now. There's been no global warming at all. Zero.
And Lord Christopher Monckton, now they've flipped, though. I want to come back from break. And now they're saying global freezing, which actually might be true if we don't get the carbon dioxide level up, correct?
That is indeed always possible, and all the solar physicists and now several mathematicians who've done some work on the cumulative influence of the sun are saying we could be in for some very serious global cooling just in the next 2 or 3 years. It is a possibility.
That's not good. Boy, I tell you, especially with food production slipping, thanks to all the carbon taxes and stuff. We're going to have a lot of starving people if that happens. We'll be right back with Lord Christopher Monckton. We'll break down how to defeat these criminals. It's the only word to describe them.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
My friends, Alex Jones here to tell you about some of the most important information concerning you and your family's health. Radiation levels have more than doubled in the last 60 years in the Northern Hemisphere from all of the nuclear testing and radiological accidents. Radioactive contamination is now in most of the food supply. There's only 2 ways to avoid this. Move south of the equator or properly protect your thyroid with nascent iodine. Looking to protect my family, I've done deep research. Nascent iodine is the purest, cleanest, absolute best form of iodine to protect yourself and your family. It's made right here in the USA, completely non-GMO. I searched out the best quality and now have developed a double-strength form of nascent iodine, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Nascent iodine is on record as one of the only safe ways to detox from fluoride poisoning. Survival Shield Nascent Iodine. Secure your super high-quality nascent iodine today at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.
With over 3,000 years of historic use, pure silver continues to be one of nature's most reliable and effective agents against fighting viruses, mold, fungus, bacteria, pathogens, and parasites. At Silver Lungs, we have developed a reliable and easy-to-use full production system for creating endless pure nano-silver solutions right from the convenience and comfort of your home. Your self-produced nano-silver solutions can be applied topically to the skin. For many who are new to silver that wish to try silver for the first time, we offer a full line of consumables and cosmetics, such as our 2-ounce nano-silver nasal sprays, our nano-silver soap, and our most popular product, the all-natural nano-silver gel. Visit www.silverlungs.com to learn more about the industry-leading technology of the Silver Lungs system. That's www.silverlungs.com.
The world is discovering the power of medicinal silver to fight against life-threatening pathogens. And as a result, dozens of silver solutions have emerged. You can even make your own colloidal silver at home in your garage. How do you know which solution is the safest and most effective? Supernatural Silver is a new patented technology that is made using 10,000 volts of AC current. This technology is so powerful, it must be made in a laboratory. Colloidal and ionic silvers use a charge of only 110 volts of DC current, making Supernatural Silver hundreds of times more effective against viruses, bacteria, and fungus. Supernatural Silver liquid can be used internally, and our silver gel can be used topically. To find out more information on how Supernatural Silver can help you win the war against deadly pathogens, go to supernaturalsilver.com. That's supernaturalsilver.com. Use the promo code SAFE for 20% off and like us on Facebook.
Resistance to tyrants is obedience to God. It's Alex Jones.
All right, I'm going to go to the Obamacare supporters after Lord Monckton leaves us at the end of this segment. I appreciate John and Sasha and Dr. Goblet, or whatever his name is, for holding. The toll-free number to join us on air is 800-259-9231. I want to hear from you. And we've heard, I'm poor, I'm destitute, I want free health care. You already get free health care. You can already go in charity care. Now they're going to ruin everybody's health care. And I want to get Lord Monckton's take on socialist health care because he's lived under it in England. He's in England right now, but he is the global leading champion of truth when it comes to exposing the power grab that ignores all the real environmental issues and sets up the UN and select Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Ken Lay of Enron with Al Gore develop the plan to tax carbon dioxide, there's 4 things in the life cycle: sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, oxygen. You've got to have those 4 things. Well, you got to have a heat source. Sometimes it's volcanic heat, but then you got to have the other 3, the water, the carbon dioxide, the oxygen. But for general life on the planet, it's the sun. And the UN's done stuff like 5 years ago, vote, to say we exclude the sun as an engine, because Lord Monckton and others were pointing out, as well as top climatologists, that it was the sun. Stupid, not carbon dioxide, and that Al Gore had lied and reversed the graphs. And they're still up there saying polar bears can't swim on CNN, that they're all dead, basically, when their numbers are 5-fold. So, Lord Monckton, in the 10 minutes we've got left with you, I appreciate you joining us today. I want to get into how they're striking back, what you expect them to do, because even though this is all a fraud, they still brainwash the kids. They're still putting carbon taxes. They're still moving in major cities in the U.S. to put you in coffin-size apartments, 200 square feet, and charge you huge carbon city taxes. I mean, they're still going forward, even though they've been caught as frauds.
This is exactly the thing. These people do not know when they ought to let go, and this could be the end of worldwide bureaucratic centralist socialism, communism, fascism, call it what you like. The idea that governments know best, the bureaucrats know best, that idea has now been proven false by the fact that they called this global warming the most certain thing they'd ever said. It was all, the science was certain, it's all settled, it's all over. It now turns out they were 180 degrees wrong. Every single fact they told us about was incorrect. Adding carbon dioxide to an atmosphere like ours will be expected to cause some warming. That's well understood and has been for a couple of 100 years. But here's the point. What isn't well understood, as they've now found out, is how much, or rather, how little warming that carbon dioxide is actually going to cause. We now know that it's not causing very much. No warming at all for 17 years, and not much likelihood of it. And you were talking, Alex, quite rightly about the sun. Let me tell you what's happened to the sun. 300 years ago, it went through 70 years when there was virtually no sunspots. Now, that hasn't happened like that for 11,400 years since the end of the last ice age. It was really cold then. The Hudson in New York, the Thames over here in the UK, froze over in the winters. They had frost fairs on the Thames. Dutch artists came who did landscapes. They came and painted them. You can get the pictures in the National Gallery. We know that it was cold then. Then the sun began to become active again, and from 1695 to 1735, a period of 40 years, the warming happened so rapidly, not only in England, but we think right round the world, that global temperatures will have risen at a rate equivalent to 4 Celsius degrees or 6.5 Fahrenheit degrees per century, a real rapid warming before the Industrial Revolution began. Nothing to do with us. The sun went on gathering its activity. So we've now had 300 years of global warming. And of course, it's warmer now than it was in 1695 because it's been getting warmer all that time. And you would expect the warmer weather to be at the end of that period, not at the beginning. Nothing unusual about that. Point is, though, that warming seems to have stopped. The sun reached a peak of activity in 1960, a peak almost as high as it reached at any time in the last 11,400 years. So the sun suddenly a lot more active, and now it's begun to decline, and to decline quite a bit. Result, even though we've added some carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, even though that has no doubt contributed a little bit to global warming, it hasn't in the last 17 years because the sun is now in decline again, and it's the sun. Of course, it's the sun, stupid, as you so rightly said, Alex. That's what dominates the climate. That, after all, is where the heat comes from. There's just that little bit less heat coming from the sun than there usually is, and already the global temperatures are responding. The bureaucrats and the scientists got it wrong. They were overconfident. They wanted our money and our taxes and control over our lives just too much to stand back and be rational and get this one right and produce balanced reports. They're still at it. This 5th big assessment report by the UN's climate panel, here it comes again with all the same rubbish in it. They're now claiming 95% confidence that more than half of the global warming since 1950 was caused by us. But here's the thing, Alex. there's been about 0.7 Celsius degrees or 1 Fahrenheit, just over 1 Fahrenheit of global warming over the whole of the last 63 years since 1950. And that means that in absolute terms, the temperature of the Earth has changed, get this, by 1/4 of 1%. 1/4 of 1% is the total warming of the Earth in absolute terms since 1950. That's all. Is that something extreme? Is that something worrying? Is that something that's doing damaging? No, of course it's not. It's entirely within what is called the natural variability of the climate.
Now, Lord Monckton,
had something to do with that, but not much.
Sure, Lord Monckton. Our listeners follow scienceandpublicpolicy.org. They're aware that you didn't use lies to counter their lies. You used truth, and I don't know how you've gotten it so incredibly right. For folks that haven't followed it, you are a scientist in your own right, journalist, advised Margaret Thatcher on national policy, really her top advisor, it's been reported. So you're a really smart guy in your own right. You don't toot your horn. So we understand they're frauds. I want to ask you how you expect them to strike back and how you think we should counter them, because they don't care. They're just moving forward. So what do we do? I mean, look at all the people that have called for your arrest. They've called for my arrest. They've said that we need green fascism. They've sued countless scientists that didn't agree with them. And I don't expect these. I mean, look at David Attenborough coming out and saying last week that we need to starve the third world. I mean, these people know they're not really liberals. They're conscious Malthusian eugenicists. So how do we counter such a vicious group?
I think the first thing is we turn the tables on them. They have been threatening to put us on trial for what are called high crimes against humanity. The penalty for that, of course, is death. But we are not the people doing the killing here. We are not the people who have been putting energy prices up so that people are dying of the cold in their homes because they can't afford to turn the heating up here in the winter in Scotland. We don't do that. They do. So I think we turn the tables on them. There is a law, and the law says that if you commit fraud by deliberately deceiving people on a matter such as a scientific question like global warming, and either you make money out of it yourselves, or, and it could be either, you make other people suffer loss and come to harm because of the fraud, the deception that you have caused, then you can go to jail for that for a very long time. And that's what we've now got to do. For instance, if somebody comes along and says it's a 97.1% consensus that global warming over the last 60 years is mostly caused by us, and the actual figures in the papers that they surveyed, marked by them, is that it's only 0.3%, 0.5%, some tiny fraction like that. And they're trying to say it's 97.1%. Well, there's only one word for that, Alex, isn't there? And there's only one place that people who perpetrate fraud like that, let's use the word, fraud is what it is. There's only one place where people like that ought to go, and it is the calabozo. And they should go there for quite a long time, because they are doing real harm to not just the economy of the West, but to the livelihoods and lives of people who depend on getting affordable energy, and now they can't afford it because the prices have been put up to subsidize these bird-blending, back-blatting windmills that generate practically no electricity, destabilize the grid, and cost a fortune doing it.
Now, Lord Monckton,
the time has come to bring this nonsense to a very firm end in the courts.
You know, I think you're being too kind to them, because if you look at the mainstream news, the admissions that the scientists met with the UN, the German government, the U.S. government, and others, and said, we've got to cover this up to get money. I mean, that's beyond fraud. That's organized criminal meetings to defraud people. You're right, it's fraud, but it's beyond just knowingly lying to people. As you said, it's to get money. And even if they could say they didn't know before and they were just wrong, it's the premeditated meeting to now cover it up when it involves government bodies. This sounds like organized conspiracy to me, and that's a serious felony. I know our law is based on UK law, based on Old English law. I mean, what's the specifics here? I mean, we need to move immediately to have them clapped in irons.
Well, I think you have in the United States a law that goes beyond even our law. You have the racketeer-influenced corrupt organizations law, the RICO statute. You've probably seen the film, the black and white film about Rico, who got caught in the end, the organized gangster, the hood. These people are hoods. And you're quite right. At a recent meeting in Stockholm, where they were deciding on the final form of the IPCC's latest blockbuster report about the climate, a UN report, the Germans, as well as the Hungarians, came out and said that they didn't want anyone admitting there's been no global warming for 17 years, because if that was admitted, then it might mean the skeptics would prevail. And the last thing they want is to allow the truth to come through. So they deliberately tried to suppress it. And when you do that at government level, you openly call for real-world data to be suppressed in the way that we saw data were being suppressed at the University of East Anglia and many other universities, the University of Colorado in the States, the University of Virginia, the Penn State University, all these places where they've been bending the data, destroying the data, hiding the data, fiddling the data. All of these people working together, as we know they did, via the ClimateGate 10,000 emails where we caught them talking to each other about suppressing papers they didn't like, delaying their publication in the journals, preventing their publication in the journals, doing them down, having their chance.
This is authoritarianism persecution. This is authoritarianism, just like we have the IRS caught being ordered to harass Tea Party groups. I mean, these are real authoritarians.
It is exactly that. And the point is, they think, and they still think, that they can get away with this because they are the government or they have the support of the government. But certainly in the British courts, and I still think in one or two of the American courts, there are judges there who are sufficiently independent-minded that if you went to them, as we did with Al Gore's movie, to the High Court in London, and even though we had a judge who had once been a candidate for the then governing Labour Party, and we put in front of him the fact of the errors all the way through Gore's movie, he found that if they hadn't agreed to publish 77 pages of corrective guidance to Gore's movie circulated to every school in England, then the education department, the government department in charge of education in this country, would not have been allowed to show that movie. We won in court because that's where the bullshit stops. Once they realise that they're going to be in court and they're going to be in a forum where both sides are fairly heard, where they don't command the judge and control the judge in the way they command and control the mainstream media, that's the moment when they realise, as they did then, the moment they saw the scientific testimony, all 80 pages of it, that I had drafted in that case. They took one look at that and they caved in because they knew they couldn't lie in front of the judge, or we would have pointed the lies out and they would have gone to jail for perjury. So they suddenly had to fess up and tell the truth, and after months of pretending to us in the answers to our pleadings that they were telling the truth, they suddenly admitted they weren't, that Gore's film was indeed full of errors, and they apologised for it and said voluntarily that they would issue 77 pages of corrective guidance, and only then did the judge allow the film to be shown, and he awarded $400,000 in costs to the plaintiff, a lorry driver from Dartford whose 2 kids in school did not want to be propagandized. If you want my guess, this is now going to move from the civil court, where that was, to a criminal court, and we're going to start seeing people all over the world prosecuted for 1 or 2 very specific instances of serious criminal fraud. Tampering with data, publishing the wrong results, being told they've published the wrong results, and refusing to withdraw them upon the error being drawn to their attention. And that is deception, that is fraud. I think we're now going to start seeing just 1 or 2 prosecutions. That's all it's going to take, Alex. You put a couple of scientists behind bars who thought that their white coats and their fancy degrees from posh universities made them somehow immune from prosecution from the same fraud laws that apply to the rest of us. When they get that real surprise and find out that if they do deliberately bogus scientific research and deliberately refuse to correct it when they're caught out, if they find that they can go to jail for that just like you and me, the rest of them will gallop for cover, and that, and only then, that will be the end of the scandal. And
I want to be specific. None of us want to put them in jail, but they're authoritarians who've been lying And if they get the global carbon taxes, many conservative estimates I know are 1 billion would die in a decade. We're trying to stop some very dangerous Malthusians who are on record, many of them being eugenicists. And it's a very, very creepy to see them getting away with this. I mean, I see cases all the time where green police now, they have all over the country, state police, you name it, find a battery in your yard that fell out of one of your children's toys and you're given a $10,000 fine. Or the case of the man charged with felonies for endangering the environment for letting go a heart balloon for his girlfriend in Florida. Last time I read, that prosecution's going forward. They admit this is going to be their new selective prosecution against the public. These are ravenous authoritarians who want to bring in a reign of socialist, communistic terror on the public. I mean, they've had you beaten up going to events you're accredited to. They've called for your arrest. It's on video. Police punching you in the back of the head for no reason. I mean, I've been around these people as well. They know it's all a fraud. And they
know, we know. They know the game is up. I was in Australia earlier this year on a 4-month speaking tour. I met farmers in South Australia, and one of these farmers had a really interesting story to tell. They came and hid behind his shed for days, and they eventually spotted him taking water from his neighbour's creek and using it to supply his cattle who needed water. And they swooped in a pickup truck. They knocked him over and injured him. They damaged both his physical and his mental health. Then, while he was still in hospital recovering from...
Hold on, I got to hear this on the other side. Then we'll go into overdrive and take calls from Obamanoid supporters, 800-25-99231. People that support Obamacare, we want to hear from you. We'll be right back with Lord Monckton to hear what happened. Yeah, the Green Police actually are attacking people now.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.
Whew, nice shooting. Hey, that's a sweet AK-47 chest rig. Is that multicam?
Yep, got it from StrikeHardGear.com.
Strike what?
StrikeHardGear.com.
Set your sights on StrikeHardGear.com. Tough, tactical gear for your Soviet-style weapon that's made in the USA. Affordable, plus a no-questions-asked 30-day money-back guarantee and lifetime replacement warranty. StrikeHardGear.com. Go ahead, pull the trigger.
You've thought about it for years. Well, the time is now. You need a secret bunker, and you need it deep and strong. Atlas Survival Shelters should be your first and only choice. The experts at Atlas can help you choose a shelter that has all the comforts of your home and is 11 times stronger than square box shelters. Call Atlas at 1-855-4BUNKERS. 1-855-4BUNKERS. Or visit IWantThatBunker.com. Atlas Survival Shelters. Better prepared than scared.
Why does the United States spend the largest percentage of GDP in the world on healthcare? Why do we have the highest cancer rates on the planet, the highest rates of diabetes, autism, and every other major disease? It all comes down to one thing. We are what we eat. Our food is devoid of nutrition and processed with poisons and additives. Our water is filled with toxic poisons and big pharma runoff. All of this has been engineered by design. We can turn the tide against the eugenicist by giving ourselves the nutrients our body desperately needs. To learn more, visit InfoWarsHealth.com. The site is literally packed with audio and video featuring top health professionals who don't bow down to big pharma. The fight against the New World Order starts with you, and you can't stand against the machine if you're sick, tired, and obese. When you visit InfoWarsHealth.com, be sure and check out the catalog with nearly 400 life-changing products and get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip. By the way, folks, we've rolled out InfoWarsLife.com, where you can get the nascent atomic level iodine that is so good for your thyroid. They've taken that out of the salt and things, and there's so many people with thyroid problems directly linked. All the literature shows one of the biggest issues is not having the healthy iodine, not the regular stuff at the store. That'll make you sick, folks. This is the nascent atomic iodine. Look into it. All the details, links to studies up at InfoWarsLife.com. We're going to be adding more amazing products developed with Dr. Group there on the site in the near future, and you get great prices on it and also support the broadcast. You can also call toll-free 888-253-3139, and all the other great products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0, Pollen Burst Plus, and so much more available at InfoWarsHealth.com, and all the books, films, T-shirts, everything. Water filters, you name it. Shopping with the good guys funds the liberty movement through the free market, through voluntary action, through free will, through free association. You support our news operation by shopping at InfoWarsStore.com. Unlike NPR and all the other government-run media and the BBC that keeps pushing all the climate change lies who gets taxpayer money, we are supported by listeners like you, so thank you so much, and be sure and support our AM and FM affiliates. Lord Monckton, I want to finish the story on the farmers and the people being attacked, especially in Australia. That's the farthest along in all this, where you just spent months. But then I want to briefly talk about socialist healthcare, what it's like living under it in England, the UK, and Scotland. Go ahead, Lord Monckton.
Dead right. Let's start then, first of all, with this case in Australia of the farmer taking water from his own neighbour's creek. The neighbour was happy with that. He had an agreement with the neighbour. It turned out he also had permission in writing from the government to do that. But they didn't care. They made a mistake. They drove him down in their ute, 3 of them. They left him for dead. They drove away. They got to the court before he did, and they said he'd been taking water illegally. The court, without hearing his side of the case, fined him $35,000. And this is what you're talking about, these savage fines. He, however, being a tough, independent-minded Australian farmer, simply refused to pay. So the court hauled him up again and said, right, you've got to do 360 hours community service. And here's the thing, Alex. Gradually, the bureaucrats themselves are realizing this just isn't right. And so when he turned up for his community service, they said, no, just quietly go away. We won't tell the judge if you don't. You needn't do that service. It's clear that you have been harshly treated, that you have done no wrong. Go away and God bless you. So there is some humanity creeping back into the system. I'm delighted to see it. And of course, we also know that in Australia, Tony Abbott, to whom I gave detailed briefings on climate change many years ago, and who has said that it's rubbish. He used a slightly blunter word than that, but he said it's rubbish. He has now become the Prime Minister of Australia. He's already shut down the lying, fiddling Climate Commission, which was putting out propaganda and calling itself independent. And you should hear the moaning and bedwetting by the BBC and all these other organisations, the ABC, about how terrible it was that this so-called independent commission that was pushing out propaganda for the Labour government that's now been defeated has been swept away.
Great news. 1 minute, sir, on government-run healthcare, the nightmare we're facing.
By all means, we have government-run healthcare in the United Kingdom, and Rannoch, which is where my little estate is one of the first places in Britain where the National Health Service is no longer national. After hours and at weekends, if you get a heart attack, you die. The doctor will not come because the nearest doctor is 2 hours away and there aren't even any ambulances to get you to the doctor or him to you. They've already begun shutting it down piece by piece because the money for it has run out. And here's the thing, you're just starting with socialist medicine. And the effect that you will have, it'll run out even faster with you because you've already got no money in the bank. Obama has spent it all. The national debt in the United States has now doubled since Obama first took
Incredible. Office. Lord Monckton, thank you so much. Godspeed to your great work. Overdrive coming up at Infowars.com/show. Stay with us, folks. Obama supporters coming up.
Thank you.
The victims straight ahead. Thank you, Lord Monckton.
God bless.
Visit GCNlive.com today.
Protecting your home with a security system is a must. But when it comes to protecting your family, your home, and belongings, there's no need to sign a long-term contract. Listen, there is some real scum in the alarm business, cashing in by locking you into long, punishing contracts. Not with Simply Safe Home Security. They're the good guys. You can trust Simply Safe to protect your family. Simply Safe was created by a Harvard Business School engineer, and it's revolutionary. You'll get 24-hour protection for just $14.99 a month. There are no hidden fees and no contracts. You'll save thousands. Plus, you're protected by their 100% money-back guarantee. Protect yourself against home invasions and break-ins. Order your Simply Safe system now and receive a wireless keychain remote, a $25 gift, free. So don't waste your time dealing with scum. Visit GetSimplySafe.com. GetSimplySafe.com. GetSimplySafe.com.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
All right, I'm going to go to Obama supporters for a half hour of overdrive. Some stations carry it, some stations don't, but I used to do 4 hours, and we might as well just go back to 4 hours. But Paul Watson, who's never really sick, a few years ago had a chest cold. I talked to him 7 days a week, generally, back and forth about news developments, and he couldn't breathe. He couldn't come on the air. It took him about 3 weeks, to be technical, a little over 3 weeks to get in to see the doctor in National Health Care. I mean, he went to the clinic. They would say, here's the little National Health Service pack. It's Kleenex, Tylenol, aspirin, a little container of like NyQuil type stuff. And he talked about it, and then it got worse and worse and worse, and he would be on the phone just groaning, saying, sorry, I can't do any work. I'm trying to get in. I'm trying to get into... And I said, look, don't they have private clinics? Because I know how the system works. I said, don't they have private clinics for you to be able to, like the elite do over there, and go see me? He goes, yeah, but first the health service has to sign off for the permission to go. And the elite automatically get that. It's all about the power of the bureaucrats. Well, finally, when he came on air and talked about it, somehow he gets a call in the word, oh, you can come on in, and he had a really bad bacterial infection and got antibiotics. But, I mean, he could have died, folks. I watched C-SPAN. See, these Obama supporters we're going to in the next segment. This is a short segment. I'm going to the next segment. Give you plenty of time, folks, so stay there. I appreciate you holding. They don't watch C-SPAN. I do. And I love, because it's so entertaining, late at night sometimes, every week, they air Prime Minister's questions, but they air other debates on C-SPAN 2 or C-SPAN 3 of the Parliament. And I'll sit there, halfway reading a book, halfway watching, and I'll watch 2 hours of a parliamentary procedure, just because it's so interesting. And I'm telling you, the number one thing they talk about is, when Tony Blair was in especially, they'd get up and say, my constituents are waiting months to have their heart looked at after a heart attack. They're laying on stretchers, dying sometimes 2 days. People that get infections die of gangrenous infections and aren't given treatment. And Tony Blair and then others after him would get up and say, I know it's true. We need more funding. But it's still a great service, and we need to blah, blah, blah. On and on. But the big ones, and you can pull up news articles on this, they'd make you wait 18 months for a brain surgery for a tumor that was almost 100% operable, meaning they can get rid of it if you have the surgery in a month. They make you wait 18 months, and with one tumor, it turned out nobody survives it in 18 months. A death sentence. Canada is horrible. On record. I know people who've lost husbands and wives trying to get infections worked on. England is the worst. There's a few European countries like Norway or Sweden. Japan's National Health Service is pretty good because they're not completely criminally run. And if you got money, you can go to the private clinics and hospitals that are nicer. But if you don't, people pay taxes. You can actually go get health care. Now, they do have euthanasia. They are bringing in the death panels. Down the road, it's going to be bad. But I'll be honest, there's some socialist health care works. It ain't going to be this one, folks. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The way this thing is written is a screw job. And you heard Lord Monckton talking about how where he lives up in Scotland, and I saw this in the news a few weeks ago, they are suspending, period, ambulance services after 7 at night, and the hospitals are closing due to budgetary cuts. Folks, people complain about American health care, and it's become corrupt, and the HMOs, rationing care, and all the scams. Folks, it's going to get 50 times worse now. And people say, oh, well, let it get worse. That's what the Republican leader of the Senate, Mitch McConnell, is saying. The plan is to wreck it and then bring in total socialism when that fails, where I'll have to get permission to go to a private clinic. You're saying, oh, no, the private clinics will just take, the government health care. No, folks, the way it's written, they're going after the small clinics and shutting them down with the regulations. This is written by the big outfits to shut down their competition. Why does the United States spend the largest percentage of GDP in the world on healthcare? Why do we have the highest cancer rates on the planet, the highest rates of diabetes, autism, and every other major disease? It all comes down to one thing. We are what we eat. Our food is devoid of nutrition and processed with poisons and additives. Our water is filled with toxic poisons and big pharma runoff. All of this has been engineered by design. We can turn the tide against the eugenicist by giving ourselves the nutrients our body desperately needs. To learn more, visit InfoWarsHealth.com. The site is literally packed with audio and video featuring top health professionals who don't bow down to big pharma. The fight against the New World Order starts with you, and you can't stand against the machine if you're sick, tired, and obese. When you visit InfoWarsHealth.com, be sure and check out the catalog with nearly 400 life-changing products and get free shipping when you sign up for AutoShip.
Do you live with stress? If you have nervousness or common everyday anxiety, we're looking for you. Because right now we're sending risk-free supplies of a fast-acting supplement to listeners of this station. You heard right. Every listener who calls right now will learn how to get a risk-free bottle of Stress Block, a naturally derived formula that promotes feelings of calmness, focus, and well-being in a great-tasting chewable. Supplies for this risk-free offer are limited, so don't wait. Just call 1-800-547-8490. Stress Block is a fast-acting, non-prescription formula to support relaxation without causing drowsiness. Your nervousness is guaranteed to begin fading like magic in no time. This special risk-free offer is for listeners of this station, but it won't last. Call us now for this exclusive Stress Block risk-free offer. Just call 1-800-547-8490. That's 1-800-547-8490. Call 1-800-547-8490.
Did you ever look at the stains in your coffee cup and then realize that's exactly what happens to your teeth? Power Swabs is the 5-minute solution to get your teeth white without visiting the dentist. This is John Greenhut, the CEO of Power Swabs. And if your teeth are stained from coffee, tea, or smoking, all it takes is 5 minutes with Power Swabs. In 5 minutes, you'll see an average of 2 shades whiter teeth, and in 7 days, 6 shades. It's clinically proven to whiten natural teeth as well as caps and veneers. The secret is a tooth detergent that was developed by Dr. Martin Ginniger that lifts stains off of your teeth. Best of all, there's no messy strips or trays that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you're done. To try Power Swabs risk-free, dial 1-800-960-9553. That's 1-800-960-9553. I guarantee your bright white smile will have your friends, family, and coworkers talking about how great you look. Try it risk-free today. 1-800-960-9553. That's 1-800-960-9553.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
All right, I appreciate them being absolute stalwart Trojans and holding lovingly. I got to be honest, I took 4 or 5 calls from Obamacare supporters earlier in the broadcast today. We opened the phones up, and they were all really nice people that had reasonable reasons for wanting national health care. The problem is the people running it are sucking it dry and running it as a scam to ration care with the death panels and all the rest of it, just like all the other free deals people thought they'd get with Obama. He's here to really bamboozle people. I didn't support Bush either, but Obama is better at conning people. That's why the insurance companies and people backed him. And we're in deep trouble. But let's go ahead and hear from people here to understand why they support it. You know, it's funny when an arrogant person calls in like yesterday, some social worker, and is laughing at me saying I'm basically full of it. Because then you know, then it's a nasty government person who thinks they're God. But these people that are poor and just want better health care, it's so sad. The problem is they're going to get worse health care now. It's a big lie, folks. The hospitals lie to you. They have to render care by law. And they are responsible when they send you away. And I don't want to get into the whole history of health care. I already did it. Let's just go to your calls. To be informed and to know they're wrecking the system on purpose, like everything else, like education, you name it. Like the drug war. It's not a failure. It's a success. The drug dealers made the drugs illegal to make more money on a black market. I mean, it's so elementary. This is an evil globalist group. They shouldn't be running health care. See, I say I'm going to listen to these people, but then it's like I start preaching because it's so frustrating. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. The people perish for lack of knowledge. There was a guy called in earlier who heads up a senior citizens group in Phoenix. Nice old black guy sounded like, and he's, Alex, I like your show, but these old people, they need better health care. And I go, hey, do you think lottery tickets are good? And he goes, well, I know they're a scam, but they give you hope. I mean, it's like, what? What? It's like buying into the delusion, because I guess these people feel like they're such failures that maybe it might work. They like the hope of imagining. And I've run into so many dreamers that are like this, just in life and business and everything. They never do anything. They just imagine that they're going to be rock stars, and they go play at little bars around town. Why don't you just be happy to be a musician, and then if you ever become a big star, that's great. By the way, becoming a big star is hellish. You don't even probably want it. The point is they're so lost. And it's the same reason Nigerian email scams have been working since the mid-1990s, almost 20 years. You get an email saying, give me $5,000, I will give you $15 million, I am Prince Abubi. And people go, well, and notice it's tailored for folks that can scrounge together $5,000 to get the maximum number to cut. And then, okay, here's the instructions. You can't talk to the prince. This is the consulate. I know people that call. They've done investigative reports. You can see them on television. You may call this is the consulate. Prince Abubi is out right now. The $15 million will be transferred. You have been selected, Mrs. Johnson, because it is believed you are quality. And then Mrs. Johnson sends the $5,000, and then her family tells her it's a Ponzi scheme. They're going to try to get more money now, hoping that, you know, I'm sorry, the wiring will take 10,000 more, and they know you're 5,000 in now. You're already 5 years into Obamacare. You're 5,000 into the Nigerian phone scam, email scam, and you're like, well, I did talk to the prince's attaché, Lord Abubu, or whatever the stupid made-up name is, and then they go to the family. The family has a big fight. They put 10 grand in. And sometimes this goes 3 or 4 times. They mortgage houses. 50 grand is sent to Abubu. And sometimes people break up, families break up over this one scam alone. They say, there is no way that I've been scammed. And then it's like, we're very sorry. The prince has been detained by his enemies. We told you. We'll be back in touch soon, my darling. It's usually women they con. My darling will soon be back in contact soon. And then the woman's by the phone for years, usually an old lady, just petting the phone. Prince Abubu. Prince Abubu. And I mean, that's Obamacare, written by the eugenicists that have big consortium meetings bragging how they're cheating everyone. All right, let's talk to the victims. Sasha in California, you support Obamacare. Tell me about it.
Hi, Alex. A couple of things. You're going to have me like maybe 20 minutes. First of all, I want to thank you. Much respect and love to you and your family. Through Mike Adams, I learned all of a sudden I had diabetes, you know. So I go to the doctor, and he gives me just a few, like 4 or 5 medicine. I've never taken medicine in my life, anything like that, you know, never been sick. So, okay, now I know I have diabetes. It's like 457 when they tested me, when normally it should be like in the 100. 110. So yeah, he gives you medication, and like right after like 2-3 days after, I start like literally going blind. And I know it's the medication. And the doctor, believe me, is my grandpa's doctor, and you know, again, nice guy. Like he would never intentionally.
No, he doesn't know. Yeah, he's thinking about the golf course. So, long story short, you learned what from Mike Adams?
Well, you can reverse diabetes, and now I'm back to normal numbers. And again, it's
oh, now they won't get to wait till it's. Did you have type 1 or type 2?
Type 1.
Oh, so now, and if you go too long, it is hard to reverse from the literature I've seen, but they didn't have a chance to kill you and have you go blind. Well, I'm sure they're going to roll in anger over that. And again, the numbers of people with diabetes is off the charts. They're estimating like half of America will have it soon, I think by 2020. But no one's asking why it's up. It's just we need to, truth is the vaccines burn out your pancreas, and amongst other things, the fluoride, the rest of it. But look, that's what's scary. For a lot of people, there are treatments and nutritional things that really do reverse, really do it, and the system doesn't want you knowing that. Now, sir, did you really call in about supporting Obamacare?
Yes, you know why? Because, okay, check this out. Okay, so the same people who own the healthcare industry, you know, the insurance companies, I guarantee you they own the fast food and the junk food that they feed people. So at both ends, you know, you get people sick of, you feed them.
Actually, Bill Gates does own a big part of healthcare and healthcare management and development, and he is the biggest owner of McDonald's and Monsanto.
Like that guy,
no, it's true, yeah.
New York, who was breaking the windshields of, cars, and then but some detective figured it out that, hello, this guy's feeding his own business need. So it's the same thing, I guarantee you. If no one has thought of this, I'm sure if it hasn't happened, they would do it now. So in that case, let's just buy stocks and invest in our demise. I mean, that's the only reason you would support this. I mean, whatever the government brings out. And my cousin is a CEO of a big hospital chain over here in Southern California. And when I kind of jokingly, at that time, I wasn't still fully deadpan. I was like, haha, And then when I told him, this guy's, he's the CEO of a major, hospital chain, and he called it rationing, as in like, it's not rape. It's like, like different kind of love making. It's like, again, these people are not, they know better. I mean, I'm nobody special. I haven't been to it. I guess it's the more you get indoctrinated, the more, I guess, you have invested in this.
No, I hear you, but sir, it doesn't sound like you support Obamacare. I appreciate your call. How am I going to get to the people that actually support it? John in Florida, are you a real supporter?
Yeah, I am a supporter, Alex.
Do you also believe in Nigerian emails?
Pardon?
Never mind. Go ahead. Tell me why you're a supporter. Yeah.
Okay, here's the deal, okay? I'm not poor, Alex, okay? I make a decent living. As a matter of fact, I pay more for health insurance premiums than most people make. I also pay more in federal income taxes than most people make. Okay, let me explain something to you, okay? The reason why the insurance companies have set it up where you buy your health insurance from your employer is because they know one of two things is going to happen. Okay, if you get really sick or somebody in your family gets really sick, what ends up happening is you end up losing your job. They're going to put you on COBRA. Half the people out there can't pay for it. So bingo, they're off claim right there, or they're on Medicaid. Okay, for the ones that can pay for it, in 18 months, they're done. Okay, now I live in Florida. In Florida, it's a guaranteed issue. As long as you didn't have a lapse in coverage, okay, you get a guaranteed issue. Okay, so I got a guaranteed issue. I pay double because they underwrite that, rightfully so. Because who takes a guaranteed issue? Only people who have issues. Okay, I was rated up 200% for minor skin cancers that I have. Okay, all kinds of things. The bottom line, we are all rated up. Everybody in my family's rated up. Okay, we pay through the nose for this stuff. I'm paying for that guy that you talk about, okay, that goes in there and he doesn't have any coverage. That's why I'm paying what I'm paying. Not only are my premiums high, okay, but I have...
No, sir, your premiums are high because they're cheating you because you actually buy insurance, and now they're going to cheat everybody because you're forced to buy it, and your cost, just watch. In fact, maybe Mitch McConnell's right. Let's let this go in, and let's just going to wreck everything, and the public won't even remember a year from now. They'll just say the answer is total socialism, and then my premium will be low, then I'll pay nothing. Don't you understand government and regulations at this level, when you're a corrupt country, never works. It takes everything over. Why do you think the insurance companies are supporting this?
You're not being fair. You don't let me get a word in edgewise.
Hold on a minute, bud. Hold on. That's not true. You just talked about business and money and how you're paying more. And hospitals are supposed to do about a third of their work for charity for free. They're getting rid of charity care. They do have death panels. This is what's happened under socialist health care everywhere, sir.
You don't work for free. They don't work for free. That's the way it goes. If you don't have the money, they'll let you die. No ands, ifs, or buts about it.
Nope, that's not true.
I got news for you.
That is not true.
If you or your family was sick, okay, and it was live or die, buddy, okay, you'd be the first one to line up there and take what they got.
Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you something right now. You're very emotional. Let's skip this break. Kill this break. I'm going to go to the bottom of the hour with you. You know, sir, you're very emotional about this, and they've lied to you. They've told you that once this comes in, that people with pre-existing conditions and things, that your premiums are going to go down or that you won't be denied. They admitted day one that's not true now. And I guess you just don't believe me. I pointed out that the insurance companies wrote this, and it freaked you out. And so you just said, you don't let me get a word in edgewise. Are you denying that the globalists wrote this and that the insurance companies lobbied for it?
Hey, that's right. Sure they did. They also lobbied to have your employer pay to provide it to you. Okay? This doesn't go far enough, man. Okay? You know what else? They ought to get rid of the employer mandate. Get rid of it. Why not, listen, Alex, why not get your groceries from your employer? Why don't you do that? Why don't you buy your car from your employer?
Well, you're just hung up. Listen, here's the deal. I'm a major employer, 40-plus people. I'm going to tell you something right now, bud. I have studied this healthcare thing up one side and down the other. I understand the current system's a screw job. But just because you're in a frying pan doesn't mean jumping into a furnace is better. I mean, do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Legal, because that's the only way the cost will come down, where you can go into a hospital or go to a doctor and not get reamed, okay? The only way that happens is you have to do one or the other. You either have to have everybody in the pool or none.
And that's right, and that's right, and that's right. And you just came down to the bottom line. Bill Gates said it. He said it 2 years ago. He said there are death panels. We've got to let grandma die to hire 10 teachers. And this is the nightmare. Once they collectivize, even partially the last 50 years, then it's unfair, and then the answer is collectivize everything, and then you find out it's a total trap. This is what domestication is all about. I'm going to explain something to you. The United States, up until the 1950s, on record, and the 60s, had hands down the best health care in the world, the best developments. The British royalty, the Saudi royalty, the Japanese royalty all came to Houston, Texas, all came to Dallas, Texas, all came to Los Angeles and New York City on record to get, and I've had a bunch of family that were physicians, doctors, you name it. They all came here. I mean, you take Dr. Group. He's not making that up, that he's treated the royal family of England in Houston at his facility. That's all going to be gone, brother. Okay, I know for a fact under the National Health Services, it is a living hell in social engineering. I know for a fact you don't get a knee surgery after 60 or eye surgery. I know for a fact that it's going to be private with the corporations and insurance companies running it, with government, with the ethics panels, and they're going to tell you, we are getting rid of old ladies. We are denying health care until you can't get ambulance service after 7 o'clock at night, until all you get is like Cuba. They do your blood pressure and whatever. I mean, man, I've studied this. And you're all angry getting screwed being an employer, as if I don't know how that is. I mean, I was talking to Professor Griffin. It's in the upcoming Obama Deception 2. He has a small business, and he says he can barely run it. He just runs it as a defiance thing, the way the things are written, where you cannot even make money. I just spend all day trying to make money to pay to get the word out, and instead of being able just to get the word out. It's very, very frustrating. And I don't just get up here. Listen, there's a reason the Republicans wrote that legislation, along with the Democratic leadership, and they got Obama to sell it. Okay, and I'll never forget being on an airplane and reading this whole, like, 15-page Wall Street Journal report right before Obamacare passed, 3 years ago or whatever it was, I was flying back from Los Angeles. No, it was New York. And I was reading it, and it was the head of the Insurance Lobbying Association. I forget the exact name. And he was saying at the group meeting in front of reporters, some of you smaller insurance companies aren't for this. Look, we wrote this. We're going to be able to control the care and what care is given and lower the price for us and make 35 million people buy it. And that's only in the first year of implementation. This is going to be a bonanza. And that's what it is. So the system's been screwed up with government involvement the last 40 years. Now it's going to be 10 times worse. And now I'm going to shut up and give you 2 minutes, John. Go ahead.
Or Boner, has either one of these people come up with it and said, look, we can either do it one of two ways. We can either have insurance or we can have no insurance, but you can't have an in-between because you can't, okay? Because either everybody's got to be in it or nobody's in it. It can't be any other way.
No. You have charity. Listen, sir, did you know that I think the last number was over 75% of hospitals are charities, but they're not charities. They're big Rockefeller on record owned. And
they don't do it for free.
Okay. Okay, you're not listening to me, sir. You may even get a bill down the road. You don't. That is a lie. Okay, you have to get on the list for charity care or you come in an emergency, and what you're saying is false.
Let you die, man. Okay, that's all there is.
Put him on hold. Put him on hold. Sir, you are just ignorant. Ron Paul's a medical doctor. He'll tell you what I just told you. Dr. Russell Blaylock, medical doctor, tell you the same thing. My dad's a dentist and oral surgeon, tell you the same thing. They are under this getting rid of that. Ron Paul worked 2 days a week down in South Texas and then 4 days a week out of the Air Force for a decade at a upscale hospital, and then 2 days a week did his duty. It's a high priest duty if you go back to the Hippocratic Oath and all of it. I mean, it goes all the way back to Egypt, folks, and then all the way back to Greece. But Hippocrates, I think's the name of the guy. The point is that you do no harm. And you are taught that we charge the rich people more, we charge the middle class a fee where we make a good living, and we give poor people free care. And for equipment and other things, we have charities that pay it. And just like Ebenezer Scrooge and the Christmas Carol, written about real things that happen but put in a fiction setting by one of the greatest writers ever, Charles Dickens, people came knocking on the rich people's door and saying, we need money for the hospital fund. And you put money into that. That's how this is supposed to work. That's why most of the hospitals are charity hospitals. And because they're engaged in fraud, you tell me I'm full of bull. That's not true. Illegal aliens, those hospitals that get federal funds, they put ads in the papers in Mexico saying, come here and have your baby free. They become a citizen, you get to stay. They want that money. That's federal. The feds have come in where the churches and the communities are involved, and it's become totally corrupt. Now, I'm going to let you counter back, sir, but you're completely wrong.
Oh, I'm not wrong. See, that's what you do. Everybody you get, oh, they're completely wrong. Okay? No, sir, I'm not completely wrong.
What's your facts?
Okay?
What's your proof?
I'm not completely right, but I'm not completely wrong. And you're not completely right, and you're not completely wrong. Somewhere in between the truth
see, that's all talk.
Okay?
Man, listen.
You can't be all right, Alex. How can you sit there on your throne and tell me that you're all right, that everything you say is the gospel because you have a radio show, okay? No, sir, you're not altogether
Let me ask you a question. How did I guess that guy first guest was a government worker and a social worker yesterday? How did I do that?
Say that again?
Were you listening to the show yesterday?
Yeah, I listen to it almost every day, and I appreciate it.
Have you seen how many times I first guess predict what somebody does?
No, I don't understand what you mean, predict what somebody does. I don't understand.
No, I can just predict by the manner, all of it. Look, the point is, I'm not saying I'm that smart, but I've actually studied healthcare deeply, okay? And
So have I. As a matter of fact, I'm an insider. I was an executive for one of these big companies. I'm telling you, the insurance companies know this. They design. Why do you think they don't even question the claims anymore?
Sir, you are saying everything I've said. Sir, the insurance companies wrote this. You're saying the insurance companies screwed you. Now they're putting it down onto everybody, and it's not going to take the heat off the employer.
off the employer. The employer's in on it too. They get you as a serf now. Because think about it. You go to work for somebody, you're working for them for 10, 20 years.
Okay, listen, we only got 1 minute left. Why are you for Obamacare again?
Okay, the reason why is because it at least gives you some control. Okay, now at least I've got multiple plans to choose from. Okay, I don't have one. There's only one available to me in Florida. I can't get a health savings account. Okay, so I got multiple plans, and guess what, Alex? It's a whole lot cheaper. Why? Because all those people that weren't insured before got.
All right, I hear you. Look, bottom line, this is nationalization of health care by special interest, and it's going to get even worse. Just get ready. I hear what you're saying. It's the propaganda versus the reality. I know who these people are, what they're planning. Get ready to grab your ankles.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.